air, fire, earth, and lightning for some reason. 4 elements are definitely not in harmony. On this week's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to talk about new super difficult quests on the surface of the bleached earth, and also new pilgrimage festival, perhaps a little something else leading up in JP, and some other stuff.
You can't see it, Omega, but when you started doing that, I just leaned back as hard as I could. Just, what is he doing?
There was a bit there. It's okay. You got me on Death Stranding with I did the exact same thing when you did the drum roll. I was just totally not expecting it. Hey, what's the Death Stranding stream? Anyway, I'm Omega. That voice over there is Lucky.
Hello.
This is Let's Talk FGO.
Yeah.
Your podcast about Fate, Grand Order, and other stuff. Because we have been here for a while, this is episode 400.
Oh, this is 400? Holy shit.
Yeah. Last week was 399. I mentioned it. This is number 400. I almost said 40. That's wrong.
But, with that, I do hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka The Fire Within. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EN version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should crash a wedding. Several weddings.
Yeah, check out, if you want to see stuff. We probably won't go crazy because, 400 episodes is how's that different from 300 episodes? I don't know, man. We do this a long time. 8 years.
A long time.
But we have a couple of funny coinky-dinks, I think, for number 400. One of which we'll get to sooner, one of which later, because I do want to point out that a very early meme that we have kind of let pass in Let's Talk FGO's history was the quote about the Dragon Mom effect, which is imagine a linear graph where, the graph line is desire, and then you have one axis for mom, one axis for dragon. Therefore, the more dragon mom you have, the more we want. We are going to talk about Summer Tiamat this episode.
Lucky was struck with a choice.
We had to go big, full circles.
Yeah.
But
hey, I went with the flare.
This episode is brought to you by our lovely, wonderful patrons who are in the show live right now.
Ooh.
So if you hear us reference chat or patrons, that's them. They get to watch live every week. We'll have more on that at the end of the show. Future Lucky's but we'll check in with that later. That means next. We gotta check in. Sorry, yes, it is. So I'm getting a jingly bell on YouTube. I know what it is. All right. That means it's time to check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Sorry. Excuse me. I had a burp in there. That's because it's time for Wait the Fuck a Second Register for pro tips. We can say that because YouTube has actually loosened their swearing restrictions. Not that it super matters, but I did actually happen to just check the stats on our very limited shorts page. And apparently the almost said Subnautica, that's wrong. The Barotrauma shorts from a million years ago, which were super demonetized because there is so much cussing in them, are fully monetized again now.
Oh, okay.
Don't know if that'll do anything for us, but it's funny. So they were true to their word. Anyway, this week's pro tip, courtesy of Lucky, but I will read it because I normally read this segmentum.
Yeah.
And it's a true pro tip. I thought about this because you lamented it in the Discord before you wrote it here, and I thought about it, but I did not have any teapots because, hey, if you haven't done our first E-Olga quest, Flare Mary, consider stacking some bond-up items in there. Use a teapot if you got it. If you can make room for it in the CEs, if they're not necessary to your team comp, slip all your stuff in there. Because the bond gains aren't astronomical in the actual quest, but you do get to put 30 servants in there, so you can get a lot done. You can get a very cool end of quest image, for instance. So check on that shit.
Yeah. So with that, let's swiftly go on over to Record from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. This one just comes from me. It's something small, but also something big. It took 8 years, but finally, Talamo Original Flavor is Bond 15. It's she can go no higher. That's I said, so I was very excited. I've been watching the numbers for the past couple weeks, just slowly going down, vibrating the entire time. Hit it this week, and I'm just yes. I'm hoping at some point we get the 50%, I believe it's 50% bond up per Bond 15 servant, I believe.
Something like that, yeah, if they're in the first row. Or is it, proportional to how close they are? I don't remember.
I thought it was just in the party. But, it's 25%, excuse me.
I think it is 25% everywhere, yes.
But, yes, no. This has put me in the unfortunate situation, though, of, I have to figure out what I'm gonna do, because, like I said, my Talamo is great, she's amazing, I have pumped as much into her as humanly possible, and she's pretty done. Unfortunately, she is also part of my bootleg art setup, so she's kind of hard to remove. Like I said, she may not have, she might not be able to, increase MP on turn 1, but she still does have a 20% MP damage up and a honk of an art steroid. Even if it doesn't, even if the art buff does not give as many much returns on MP gain up as, just the straight buff, do a lot of damage. It do a lot of damage. We'll talk about how Uncle Vlad, Tomo, and Castoria absolutely wiped Flare Marie later.
Yeah, we'll discuss some strats a little.
Yeah. Originally, that next sock probably should have been taken over by Lady A, but like I said, I don't have one, and the rate up has just passed, so I have to just kind of sit there and think about stuff.
You'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is quite an accomplishment. It does take a lot of dedication of work and setup to get to your 15ers.
Yeah.
And otherwise, no evils. We're chilling. Technically, story is happening, but it is kind of, a microcosm of ongoing story. So there's a couple of plot things we should mention later. We'll do that in free talk. Don't you worry, chat. But that means it's time for Did You Finish Your Master Missions? Your Master Missions this week are to defeat 3 servants with the Heaven attribute, 3 servants with the Earth attribute, 15 enemies with the Humanoid trait, 15 enemies with the Demonic trait, and then 20 enemies who are not servants or certain story bosses, and then 40 enemies who are not servants or certain story bosses. You can accomplish some of this handling Flare Mary, because there are a fucking lot of enemies. The rest of it, you can accomplish a wide variety of ways. Pretty sure you can do all this in Fuyuki, actually. But that means it's time for Skelograms, the news.
Yeah,
so I believe we talked about, the new Bleach Earth quests upcoming last time, so the new alert is Pilgrim Festival Part 4. Just fired up, starts the 22nd, which is the day we're recording this. Goes until the 5th of September. That's when I'm officially calling my shot that's when, because that's a Friday, calling my shot that's when the Wangina event will start, because that is early September. But we got bonus missions, both permanent and limited time, for Leafs, for Saint Courts, and for Crystallized Lures. You want those. You got a double suck chance on enhancement, and half QP cost on enhancement for the time being. Ember Gathering will be half AP. The selected welfares get 20% bond up, and those welfares are Iris Field, Chloe, and Seek. Pretty good selection. Irie is still fairly unique in her role as a healer. There are a couple of heal supporters, but they still don't work exactly like she does, especially with her gutsening on NP. I think the only comparable unit is Asclepius, who's story locked, funnily enough. Chloe is also just like a crazy good single target archer. if you don't have one yet. And Sieg is very reliable as well for casters who are offensive. He was, I think, one of the first casters who we started talking about, like, Lupin.
I don't know.
It's very early in there. Iris Field does get a rank up, so that'll be good. Is that for her healing, like, self-healing up, or her... Let me double check. Because she has 2 heal skills, kind of. Okay, no, I think it's the... She has the healing power one. That was pretty weak, so that gets replaced. So this now gives 3 turns of 50 to 100% healing increase, gives her a 30 to 50% battery, and also increases everybody else in the party's NP damage. So it gives her some more sort of support rolls. That's good.
Oh, so I might go fucking field my Irie then. See how that works.
Yeah, get you extra 20 to 30% NP damage up for the party for 3. Doubles her healing at max level. And you get a battery too, so you can get to her NP faster. So it should be very solid. You will get also some banners here. Your banners will be Artoria and Assassin Emiya, regular 5-star Ilya and Miyu, and Jean and Siegfried. And you also get some old limited CEs in this mix-up. A fine selection. So check that shit out. And like I said, if you have not you're not a day one player and you've missed some welfares, all of these are like very solid selections. Especially I think Irie with the rank up is probably like extremely solid. She has an invul, like I said, her NP is healing and guts for the whole party. You can now double her healing, amount on a skill. Very, very solid. We did not get a back-to-school campaign yet, but we did get a back-to-school social media banner, social media alert. It's got Merlin on the front of it, and they wanted, so many reactions before the 27th, so I expect that we will get our extra goodies and probably a banner or 2 during that time period. JP is still wrapping up the new summer event, but they did clarify what their next event, September will have a new event, and that will require an Ordeal Call clear. I would assume Ordeal Call Prologue. But that limited time event will lead into Grand Duel Rider.
I'm assuming what they're doing is like they did with the Indra event, and they're going to reveal the writer, give him a banner, and be all like, and then you're fighting him. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to be Noah, as he exists.
Yep. He's had the slot previously. He has designs. It is like one of the few characters who was summonable in Arcade who did not make the jump over yet, and would be a good selection.
No,
not to mention, obviously, technically, Noah was one of the characters who got a shout out in LB7 when we were like, gosh, if only we had a heroic spirit who could fucking go up this waterfall.
I'm excited. I'm sadly saying because it's a Nemo face. I can always use more Nemo faces. This is important to me.
I mean, yes, this is a little bit like the 14, meme about it, but you do, like, it is a story-tied event, so to do Grand Duel at all, you have to have what you'll call Prologue cleared.
I do know that someone recently did time themselves of getting from, like, the beginning to the end, so you can get that 1,000 Saint Quartz, and I don't remember the time is, but it was completely doable.
Yeah, it should still be doable. Like, it's gonna be a little blocky, but it is for people who don't know, we'll probably talk about it a little more later, but Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy XIV have announced their collab again.
Yeah.
Shaking hands, coming next month for some stuff. The official guide to do the Monster Hunter Wilds collab in Final Fantasy XIV is buy Final Fantasy XIV, play through the story to Dawn Trail at level 100, which strongly resembles a meme. Draw a circle, draw the rest of the damn owl. Like, it is true. The guide is only 2 steps. Those 2 steps are literally hundreds of hours of content. It took me like a fucking year and a half to catch up to the start of Dawn Trail. So, like, obviously I was limiting myself. I was technically nerfing myself by only doing 3 to 6 hour blocks. But, like, it's if I actually, like, played it constantly throughout, it still would have been quite some effort to get there. But yeah, so this is similar to that joke, but a little different because in general the Grand Duels do also require the catch up. But yeah, we're gonna do Writer next. Yeah, the collab should at least be permanent on the 14 side.
Yeah, and I'm about to say it's all like if it's anything like the Worlds one, that shit's just permanent.
Yeah,
so
it'll just turn into
rush.
Turn into a blue quest just lurking probably somewhere in Tuliolol forever.
Forever. And
it's true. Like I don't remember it was for Worlds, which was God, how many years ago? But I did the Rathalos, quest. Let's see. I know we're not faffing, but yeah, we've barely crossed like 15 minutes. We can tangent a little to something that would normally go in the free talk before we jump into Mailbag. But it is interesting to see that from the other side that there's a chunk of Monster Hunter only people who seeing the collab monster being the raid boss Omega weapon from 14 are just kind of like, well, this is weird robot spider. This doesn't feel right at all. And I can't wait for those people to get fucking larboard starboard.
I just can't wait for them to hear the fucking music as, like...
Yeah, they showed Escape, or played Escape. I also heard at least one person fire off kind of a crazy theory, but also brought up that, like, technically, the way Wilds works is that monsters have 3 levels of difficulty. You've got normal, tempered, and then whatever the super tempered version was.
Yeah, arch-tempered.
Yeah, arch-tempered. Or arc-tempered. I don't actually know how they say it in game. Which does technically correspond to the Omega Raid series because you've got normal, savage, ultimate. So, I don't know. If they go that far, people might get a little crinkled. Their feathers might get a little ruffled. Probably means, like I said, I need to get back into Wilds and start running out some gear sets, level up some stuff, be ready to rock.
Same.
I'm also anticipating. At first I was like, give me Raydao because like that guy's Raydow's so iconic as like the boss of the beta. But Arkveld is the leader of the signature monster of Wild, so that also works. So I'm already thinking about the collab where I'm like, all right, can't wait for Arkveld to do some bullshit. gonna throw some chain lines and stuff, with the Dawn Trail timing windows. But that is our Skelograms.
So, with that, we're going to move on over to this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. Liza's going to hit refresh on the post right here to see how many we got total. And the total is 6. Thank you very much, everyone, for submitting these. We will get through them right now. Our first one comes from Monster Girl Aficionado, who says, Dear Lucky Omega, no question this week. Just sending good vibes, Wah, 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 wah. And wishing you well. Keep up the great work. Same to you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This next one comes from cannot wait to get my own Summer Tiamat. I'm right with you there, brother. But they say, howdy, Lucky Omega. Hope you're all having a good week. Sorry, brain. The question. So, haven't quite listened to the newest Rain yet, but I wanted to ask a Rain question. But since the mentioned not listen to the new one, instead I'll ask a TTRPG question in general. And that question is, what TTRPG system has been your favorite to use for play?
Oh man, I have played so many different systems. What is my favorite?
Lucky, this isn't me being indecisive and whatnot about systems and stuff. It's just that there are so many different things on like different systems that I like. Like, I like the One Roll engine because One Roll engine it's very interesting. Like I said, it's a bunch of D10s, you get matches, height and width and stuff, so you get very amounts of set. But the fun thing that usually comes in One Roll engine is usually in the settings. Like, we have Nemesis, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like kind of supernatural, spy, thrillery thing, what goes bump in the dark kind of thing. My favorite setting, Wild Talents, because you can make such ridiculous things in it, and as long as you have the points to buy for it, you can go nuts. It's so dumb, and I love it. I think it's literally one of the best supers, TTRPGs, that's out there.
Yeah, I know people swear by Mutants and Masterminds, but I will die on the hill of Wild Talents. The Wild Talents Essential Edition, the first book I used to run it, literally has a sidebar, which is like, hey, here's how you can get 2 hard dice and turn off the sun. Negate nuclear fusion. Literally, most starting character builds could do it. I mean, you'd have like a 1 in every stat, but you could get your dice in that power and go. And it's like, and Greg Stolze, the author of the book, asks, okay, great, you could turn off the sun. What the fuck are you going to do with that? What are you going to do? Hold the world hostage? I don't know. But like, Wild Talents is a really great system. Obviously, One Roll Engine is the basis of Rain, the campaign we're in right now.
Yep. Like I said, like, dice-wise, it's very simple, very fun, but I would often say that the One Roll Engine settings are very good. Like for Rain specifically, I can't really just say One Roll Engine because that is the product of Omega world building loudly, and I mean loudly. Jesus fucking Christ! Like, I'll take some credit because I will often go, "Hey Omega, I need answers about this," and be like, I see. Let me go write about this. Come back to me like a day later. Lucky, I've written 3 pages on fucking festivals and tax laws. Here you go. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, they just ask simple background question. And it's like, well, the setting doesn't exist until I write it, so hold on, let me think about that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just do it to myself. I've joked before about how the joke I made about, oops, I accidentally wrote 3 paragraphs about the law. I didn't really intend to get that detailed, but I had to actually explain some operation to explain what the fuck Logesh is supposed to be doing with his life.
Yeah.
Like I said, these guys don't even... Guys, there's so much... I literally have a secret sorcery doc. There's so much of it.
No, we're trying. Like, honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if the biggest block we talk about is Rain later because, peek ahead, we actually made a calendar doc, and Lucky went ham on it. I think, other than Omega, who put on the things, I have filled that thing up with all the events we're doing. But we'll talk about that later.
I believe the others have added like a bullet point here and there, and like commented on some things to like have some like post-it note discussions in a sidebar. But you were the one who was like, literally at the end of the session, we were like, shit, can we get a calendar or something? And I'm like, hold on, let me hit you up. I had to go back in the past and double check if I wrote what date it was. I did. I wrote what year it was, and luckily I managed. I had every month named because I did astrology, and we got to do cute world building stuff. It's a lunar calendar in the Noblesse Oblige in the Rain setting, so there's actually 13 months, which means that technically New Year's is basically its whole lunar month.
Yeah, no, Aaron was the one who came up with the idea, and I just was like, yes, that'd be excellent. And it was. I filled that thing up, and that made me start asking about things, asking about festivals, asking about taxes, asking about things. So I won't say take credit for like the world building, but I am definitely the person who will be like, hey Omega, we need information on this. I am the prod.
Yeah, so One Roll Engine's really good.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think my best would be, technically we'd call it Genesis, but like, I've done some Star Wars, all right, in my time. Mm-hmm. I've played a little bit of the old D20 Star Wars, the Saga Edition. Same. I've read some of the classic West End Games D6 Star Wars. The Star Wars RPG that Fantasy Flight came up with for Edge of the Empire originally, and then made generic in Genesis, is also, like, really robust when it comes to just fine-tuning to your own setting. Like, we have done so much stuff with Genesis. They've done so much stuff with Genesis. The Genesis community's done a lot with Genesis. Like I mentioned
you
before,
wrote a whole fucking ass setting in Genesis. We call it... Sometimes I still mess up calling Genesis Gensekai because it's just so ingrained in me.
Yeah, I just squished Isekai and Genesis together. It's very robust, yeah, for a specific sort of high fantasy. But I've mentioned to you, there are other people who have done similar huge projects for Genesis. There is a completely functional conversion of, I think, basically everything FFG ever did for 40K, like Dark Heresy, etc., into Genesis.
Oh, rad.
Like somebody just line that shit up, and I'm like, you know, hey, we've clocked about 30 hours of Dark Tide, so if we ever want to try that, not to say I would do that for everything. I think that the percentile system for a lot of the 40Ks is pretty good, and Only War is very specific about imitating Imperial Guard stuff that's very neat. But
I'm about to say, it's like if I play 40K, I don't want to be in power armor and stuff. I want to be like a fucking, like, I want to be guardsman or something.
But we could do a guardsman campaign, or like I said, Dark Heresy was just the Dark Heresy RPG is just the scope of Dark Tide. It's just usually less action oriented because you have much less ablative hit points.
But going back to Genesis. Genesis is also very good because it has a very interesting dice system of failure but success or success but failure. So you get very, very wild results in your things, and it can make very interesting situations. So unlike One Roll Engine, I like Genesis because its dice makes things always interesting. Like, you have success, but you have success and advantages, which are good, but you also have failure and threats, which are bad. But then you also have, triumphs, which are really good, and despairs, which is really bad. And you can get any number of combination with a roll.
Yeah, and I love how Triumph and Despair for critical success and critical failure don't cancel out. They're the only symbol that does it. So, like, you can get some weird... Like, honestly, it's rare, but even when we get the all dice have canceled out result, you can't say that's not interesting because that makes us go, okay, hold on. So how does that
What just happened?
What do we do with that?
No, it's good. So, for best dice system, I think, Genesis is really up there. There's I played my old school D20s. I've played, I need 6 pounds of D6's Shadowrun. I've tried percentiles and Eclipse Phase. Eclipse Phase is good. Eclipse Phase has a really good setting. It's like
very strong setting.
It has a very strong setting. Very, I don't want to necessarily say cosmic horror, but like space horror, I think is a good way to put it.
Yeah, because there's cosmic stuff in it, but also every other, it's so weird because I don't want to call Eclipse Phase a kitchen sink setting because it's not quite that. Like, it doesn't literally do every sci-fi thing, but if you've thought of a vaguely hard, vaguely scary sci-fi story, we've got it.
Yeah.
Stargates, but evil, got them. Alien, absolutely got that. Predator, also got that.
Yeah, no. Things are rough and hard in Eclipse Phase, but you're not necessarily in the cyberpunk dystopia kind of story.
You can do that if you want.
You can do that, but that's not. I wouldn't say that's the default.
No,
kind of vibe.
And that's the thing about Eclipse Phase is technically the problem that Eclipse Phase's first edition had that they kind of narrowed in the second by giving you 4 frameworks, but the setting scope was so huge that you could really do lots of stuff. You want to do cyberpunk tangible, hyper corporations control everything, down and gritty. You could do, Mars or Lunar City Street type stuff. Also on Mars, though, you could do Barsoom, and you could be a space western.
No,
complete with forced resettlement, train robbers.
Shadowrun was my first sci-fi TTRPG. I actually never played cyberpunk, actual cyberpunk. I got Shadowrun, which is weird. Shadowrun is weird. It's magic, but also technology. It's cool.
Shadowrun is quite. I don't know if this is the exact story of how they came up with Shadowrun, because I think it has certain lore implications, but it feels like the people who wrote Shadowrun they saw that the biggest games of their era was Cyberpunk the RPG and D&D, even though I think that Shadowrun's only very shortly after Cyberpunk got published, but it feels like they went how do we put these together? How do we put the peanut butter in the jelly? And it's weird, like you said, it's fucking strange.
It's fucking strange. It's fun. It's great. Like I said, I grew up on 3rd and 4th edition, but it's weird. But no, I generally think that Eclipse Phase has the best sci-fi feel. Like I would even pick Eclipse Phase over Star Wars. Star Wars has a lot of stuff, but when you're playing Star Wars, you're playing Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is its own unique kind of space fantasy that is like, it's similar to Shadowrun, I think, in that it bashes a lot of tropes, and you can do a lot of different things in Star Wars, but you can't not be Star Wars, you know?
Mm-hmm. Special shout out to Delta Green. Like, we haven't played that as much, but Omega is a master of his craft, and the fucking Maul is going to live in my memory fucking forever.
Fun fact, I cut my teeth on 7th Ed Call of Cthulhu. Those were the first games I ran for the boys back in the day. So yeah, I've got a long history of horror gaming. I think, I gotta say, I feel like my favorite like tactical game so far is, because I still haven't played Lancer, is 4th Ed. I've played a little 4th edition and read the books. That is like D&D's ultimate tactical gameplay, complete with squares. And y'all know I love squares.
You love squares.
It's just unfortunately maligned by the fact that they changed a little too much and also cut out their third-party partners. So Paizo just went, fuck it, we ball.
I do like Pathfinder, but like I said, Lucky has become completely disenamored with D20 systems. Like I said, Lucky, like I know people can get their narrative focus on and role-playing focus on in their games, but every time I've tried it has never been the focus. It would just be like...
Pathfinder 2 is interesting, because I think it does have kind of a... Like, every role has kind of that critical failure success scaling thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you roll so many over the DC, you get a critical success, and if you roll so many under, you always critical fail. It's not just necessarily nat 1s and nat 20s.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting attempt to bring some gradient there. Yeah, it's 10 above or 10 below. So, like, they're trying to kind of crack out into their own thing, but it's still D20 based. I haven't gotten to run for the boys, but they did actually finally come out with a unicorn book for L5R 5th Ed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it has some interesting stuff in there, because not only does it do Forward Kingdoms, but it's also got some extra spiritual stuff in there, like basically taking social conflicts and turning them into spiritual conflicts, so you can like gain momentum about spirits for like possession and shit.
Huh, wild.
So, like, you can do exorcisms and stuff. That's very critical to me. Maybe I will actually, when Ghosts of Yote come off, I will try and actually finish out my L5R campaign idea. It's an interesting system, but I haven't really played, so I can't really say it. It has proprietary dice, which are a little different than Genesis's, but it's got a similar idea in that, like, you know, you roll and keep dice, but some of them have the strife, the negative symbols, so you have to be careful about basically, like, holding on so much until you basically explode.
Yeah.
But also then there are certain cases where, like, it's good, like Fire Stance is like, oh, all your kept strife symbols count as bonus successes if you succeed, so you can go absolutely, you know, beast mode on stuff.
So,
but it's a really interesting system, but like I said, I haven't actually got a chance to play it.
One day.
We'll get there, yeah.
I do want to shout out the Powered by the Apocalypse system for its fiction first mindset. Powered by the Apocalypse, this is where you get, like, Apocalypse World, The Sprawl, Urban Shadows, Monster Hearts. Oh, there's a couple more. I know there's one with kids.
Monster of the Week's a very classic one.
Monster of the Week, that was the other one.
Blades
and
what
was the teenage, like, parkour kids with the... There's a few Powered by the Apocalypse settings out there. But Powered by the Apocalypse is very interesting, as it's a very quick game. You basically print off a sheet, you just check boxes and go. You don't have to really think necessarily too long or hard about character, and the game is a lot more about doing an action, saying what you're going to do, and then the GM assigning the action to it that you got to roll. And much like other systems, you have you have failure, partial success, and then success. Kids on bikes, thank you. Blades in the dark.
Yeah, I think the main thing that's like the weakness of Powered by the Apocalypse is I feel like they did a good job of like trying to boil it down for a con game. Like you said, literally the character sheets are in like a preset in a trifold format. You print out the sheet, you fold it, and then you bubble like it's a fucking Scantron. Easiest thing in the world. But yeah, it is not necessarily generated for very long term play, and most of them have like Monster Hearts literally has a seasons mechanic baked into it. The goal of like Apocalypse World, the classics is, oh, you've taken some of the advances, so you can get your advanced advances. Your character can retire to safety.
Yeah, no. Powered by the Apocalypse has always been billed for shorter campaigns, and an unfortunate thing for both me and Omega is we don't do short campaigns. It just does not work.
No, I've said before many ideas for like, yes, this one shot. God, how long was Operation Starcourt? It was like 7 episodes or something.
It was pretty long.
It wasn't supposed to be like a micro campaign, but like it. You guys really got into the vibe and were just like, no, Omega, I'm going to look at everything, and then I'm like, okay, you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah. Sip my coffee from the very suspiciously named coffee place.
Everything was so on the nose. Benison Island was pretty good. You managed to get that down to a limited number of sessions, Aaron. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a complete one shot, but we like to talk, and if you get me unlucky in the player facing side, like that's an experience because we are both like the ultimate, I feel like, paranoid planning gamers. It's like, so there's a T-Rex out there? Okay, how are we going to handle the T-Rex, Lucky? Do we go fast? Do we go slow? Can we sneak? No, we can't sneak. What do we do? But yeah, like, I games, here's the beautiful thing about games and why you should play games that are not just D&D, chat. Tabletop RPGs do a lot of different things. They do them different ways. There are different mechanics for different stuff. So you should experiment and find stuff you like. There are game types that I still haven't played that are very classic, from certain eras for all kinds of things, imitating pulp stuff, like Hollow Earth Expedition and shit like that. We haven't played a lot of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Gumshoe, that's right. That's the system that Night's Black Agents is based off of, and also Trail of Cthulhu and some other game systems. That's a game system that's designed to investigate mysteries by being like, okay, you will always get a basic clue if you have the skill. You cannot escape the basic clues. It's just that having points in your skills to spend on knowledge will give you the tools you need so you don't die. Whole thing. Shit, I lost my fucking tabs for a second.
But I think that's enough on talking about here. Like, again, I can't necessarily name a single one as my favorite, as playing tabletop is literally the highlight of my week. It is one of the things I look forward to the most. And like I said, over the years, I played a lot of systems, and I enjoy several of them for their own merits. Red Markets I love because of their gear system with upkeep and whatnot. It's just it was a little rough sometimes. Like I said, I definitely want to keep that idea and maybe put it into my own setting one day. But
it's a neat game, but Red Markets is designed. It's billed as economic horror, right? It is inherently supposed to kind of be stressful about that stuff. They're still playtesting the second edition, so we'll see.
We'll see. But no, unfortunately, like there's just so many systems out there, and each one of them has something that they're like the best at. But with that, we're gonna move on. So this next one comes from, they didn't put an alias. Gasp. Should I be mean? Should I skip it? It's in the rules!
It's technically in the rules, but
it's in the rules.
We are goobling.
Lucky decides if this submission gets to live or die. The power! I'll fucking read it. They say, Dear Lucky and Omega, hope you're having a fantastic week. Bit of a longer question for you guys this week, but it's the one that must be asked, and I'm sure one you will enjoy. Assuming we have one final summer event, who would you want / predict to be in the event? Whichever one comes easier to you. Okay, so slightly miffed here, because they say, yeah, I have a long question. It's actually a very short question. The longness comes because they decide to give me their own list. And I'm just all like,
that is known to happen in Mailbag.
I'm just like, Alright, so I'm gonna go halfy on the cruelty. I'm just gonna skip their own list. Out of spite. But they have a list. Lucky's being spiteful.
He's the most chipper man.
Oh, but man, what is still on my summer list?
Medusa.
Probably Koyanskaya. I would like a writer one, just because I still don't know what I'm putting in my writer gland. What? What? Grand slot.
I started laughing before then or later.
So I would like a Koyanskaya writer. Who else would I like?
Yeah, I already shouted out mine. Medusa's one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do also find it very funny. We've never done Summer Liz, no matter what. I know that was, part of Carmella's joy that she got a summer alt before Liz does, but Liz never did get a summer alt, so there's no punchline.
There's no punchline.
Nightingale's a good pull. She was in some CEs.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously it wouldn't work for this summer, but it would be a very popular one. If she gets a CE, Summer Lilith, can pencil that one in if we're doing one more summer.
Yeah, no, I would definitely want a Summer Lilith as well. Oh, so Summer Lilith, Summer Koyanskaya. You see, most of my desires have been meh, because I already got my Summer Lip, got my Summer Tiamat, got Summer Bargast already. Can I get like a Summer Tamamo cat? That'd be interesting.
That would be cute, yeah. Hit that up.
I was like, we have a regular ass Summer Tamamo, but she's a year 1 servant, and while her wet teaser design is amazing, it's been a while.
Waterco has not gone absolutely ape mode.
No.
Absolutely Giga Beast.
Well, she went beast enough to convince Takauchi, so, good enough.
Summer Boudica's a classic, yeah. People think about that one. I'm just thinking about like servants that have like been mentioned in summer events and not gotten it. Kind of surprised actually, since it was such a big deal. No summer Bakken, or technically Omichi, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fuck it, we ball. Throw Summer Habanyan in there.
That'd be cute.
If Miss Crane gets one, make Habanyan one. Make at least one of her ascensions normal sized. She's probably still short, but like human short, not infinitely small.
For males, give me a Summer Nemo, please. Just give them to me.
Summer Nemo would be a good one. I was just talking about that Summer Vlad. Given
Vlad would also be a good one. Give me that old man under the sun. Oh.
I'm imagining it would be more of like the summer.
Have we not got a
soup
Summer
club
Altera
type.
yet?
No.
That's
honestly,
weird.
Genuinely, I think it's because Nasu is like, I think he's been slowly gathering up his ideas for Extella 2 and keeping them in his mind vault. We haven't really done anything with Altera at all. Like genuinely, there should probably be some more gags about Altera and Kremhild.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have like the Bryn Altera big sister confusion. But in Siegfried's version of the legend, Kriemhild gets married to Etzel, which is Attila the Hun, for a number of years before she springs her ultimate plan to kill everybody. So like there's at least some level of like I'm terribly shocked there was not at least one joke of Siegfried being like, to Altera, hey, thank you for taking care of my wife, and Altera just being like, I have literally no idea what you mean. If that happened, I so didn't notice because I did not give a shit. I'm Altera. But yeah, Summer Altera is another like whiff. Guys, technically Altera is like basically a heroine on the caliber of like Nero and Tomomo in Fate terms.
She's supposed to be.
She got a whole route in Extella 1. Altera Larva
she has
is like
a little
major
version in Extella Link.
Yeah, major
it's
part of Extella Link, yeah.
Also, give me Summer Charlie. That's important. I feel that's important.
That could be a fun one. Summer Paladins.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we got to get Summer Bedivere out of the words before we start working on Summer Paladins. I'm going to be real. I think Bedivere is the only one who does not have an alt/costume.
Well, he has his butler costume, but yeah, he doesn't have the summer one.
Yeah. Excuse me, he doesn't have a summer.
Yeah.
Oh, and Percival doesn't as well. Wait, did Percival get one?
No.
Okay.
Percival is does he have one? Did he get one last year?
He got one last year? Okay. I couldn't remember.
I feel like summers are always like singularities where I feel like I blot everything out. Last summer especially is super weird because that was so like stretched out with the Ordeal Collins shit.
Yeah.
But he might have gotten he might have been one of last year's costumes. In that case, if he got one, Bedivere didn't, which I'm pretty sure Bedivere did not. That's crazy. Crazy talk.
Yeah. But, give me a Summer Jacques de Molay, as, like he's all about that black goat. Summer Van Gogh would probably all be good. We do got Van Gogh Minor coming up, but that's good.
Oh, also,
Lucky.
I mean, I mentioned it, we did Medusa at the start. We got to lock it in. Hey. Oh, there he is. Shit. With 10,000 abs. Lancer Alter Summer.
Oh, yes. No, that's the end. I am shamed. I forgot, but no, this is the actual important one. Literally, first year servant, criminally underutilized. Criminally.
And we know, like, I know that some of her arts are a little odd because they were like back in the day, but like that her artist has consistently drawn her for Memorial CEs for like 5 years. He has a lot of practice. Let him flex. He's got to have some ideas. I think it's Akira Ishida is Lancer Altar, and I think regular Lancer Artori is one. And obviously, I mean, if we're getting it one last hurrah summer, we've had one president, yes. What about second president? Olga Mary's never been to the beach? Question mark? Come on. Mash has a swimsuit in her back, and Mash literally never left Chaldea.
But let's move on from that, otherwise we'll just be running around in circles in summer. So, moving on. The next one comes from, what's a SSP? I don't know. Dear Lucky Omega, hope your week is going well. One question, have either of you in gacha card games rolled and put something that you didn't know was super rare and thought it was common? For instance, getting into Wash Schwartz with the Nikki said and pulling a Naga SSP thinking, oh, okay, that's funny. Thinking it's a rare?
Apparently SSP is super special rarity.
Hope you two have a good week ahead, and as always, sending good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. I mean, Lucky is the person who has a slightly scuffed first edition holographic Charizard. It's slightly scuffed because I got it when Pokemon literally first came out. I actually played that shit and stuff, so it got a little beat up. Then I learned, 2 years later that shit has skyrocketed in fucking price. I'm like, damn.
I think I might have done this on a stream, so I think there might be the video of it somewhere deep in the archives. I don't know, but I think it was the first set I did. I did pull a Starlight rare in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the only Starlight I own of Ecclesia. I think she's still worth at least 3 digits. And I had absolutely no idea. I thought it was just a normal secret rare for a second with some extra prismaing, because it's like, Starlights are super shiny, chat, if you've never seen them. But yeah, I do own a Starlight. I've owned a couple collector's rare in my time, but those have pull rates which are slightly increased. You're expected to get like 1 or 2 in certain sets. Hell, I've sold a collector's rare. My collector's rare Skullmeister, that shit's gone. Showed that in TCG Player for like $80. But yeah, no, I did not realize what I was pulling when I got it. Like, I was not super excited, but that was technically like a super chase card and is still valuable. Probably better than the alt art of Ecclesia they advertised recently. Lucky you wouldn't know this, but at least you can get the joke. Somebody can grab me the screen cap if they want to. But they are doing a promotional anime in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, little shorts. They're pretty good. I think the 3rd episode just came out. Haven't seen it yet. But they have announced to tie into this with the Albaz storyline. They're doing a special deck release, which includes some new cards and some new alt arts, including one alt art, which is just an anime screen cap.
What?
Let me see if I can find it. So they've, there's an official alt art, and it's just going to be an anime screen cap. Let's see if we can find it. Chat might grab it first for a fast second. But Chronicles, yep, here it is.
Wow.
It's just Ecclesia doing a meme pose. It's just a still from the anime.
So, let us move on. This next one comes from the Tire King, patiently waiting for the new Digimon ban list. Shit must be happening over in Digiland. Question, hey guys, with the event leading to the Grand Rider battle soon, who do you think is the possible candidate for the title besides Noah? Also, with fall approaching, what is your favorite pumpkin spice treat or drink? Anyway, that's it for me. Sending good vibes your way. Wah, 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 wah. And hope you have a great evening. For the pumpkin spice one, that one's easy. Pumpkin bread. Lucky loves himself pumpkin bread. It's very good. Fall is usually the time where I start making double batches of pumpkin bread and banana bread together. They are delicious. This year I probably won't be doing that because I am trying to lose weight. Lucky is now finally down to like under 280. So in about 2 months I have lost about 30 pounds. So I would like to keep that train going for a while at least. So no fall time treats for Lucky this year. Well, no, that's a lie. Lucky's gonna have fall time treats. I will just not, make 2 loaves and eat them over the course of 3 days. There will be a difference.
You're gonna spread it out.
Yeah. Well, Lucky is, losing weight and dieting and stuff. I have not given up all my fucking greasy ass bad for you foods. I have just reduced the amount that I eat them.
Listen, some people can quit cold turkey, but it's rough.
Yeah. So, that's for that. But also, I am just a fan of the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte. The PSL. Some people say that just makes me, a fake white girl. Whatever. It's tasty. Actually, I don't know if people say that anymore. I remember when they first came out, like, the first couple years, there was this...
It was very white girl core.
Yeah.
But that was, like, over 10 years ago, I think, was, like, the very first time they ran that.
Yeah, so I don't know if people still think that, but I always get a few pumpkin spice lattes every year from Starbucks.
I feel like at this point in the year, it's just like, fuck it, it still exists.
No, like, Lucky doesn't drink Starbucks a lot, but I do in the fall and winter because I get pumpkin spice lattes in the fall, and I usually get some sort of peppermint drink in the winter.
like I said, one of my favorite vibes is to hit up the Starbucks like late in the evening, as it's getting dark, and walk around my town drinking Starbucks, watching the sunset. It's in the fall and the winter, especially on a good day on the winter, it's a good aesthetic. So, for the Grand Rider question, honestly, I do have a feeling that FGO is kind of just doing this thing of anyone could be kind of a Grand. It's just how we're gonna justify it.
Well, and also there's the duel is not necessary. They made sure with the one with Musashi to be like, hey, this does not necessarily mean that like literally Musashi was Grand Saber. She just represents what you got to overcome to achieve the grandness. And it's like, okay.
But I guess the question is, who would I want to fight against? Like, I am still slightly mad that we got Indra for Grand Lancer, not of like someone like Skahawk.
Yeah, Indra's neat, but we like, bringing in him to just, I
don't have any history built up with fucking Indra. I'm just gonna slap this guy and keep on moving. Fighting Musashi, that makes me feel something. Fighting Herc, that makes me feel something. Fighting the Prez, that makes me feel something. I'm not gonna feel anything fighting Indra. I can tell you that right now.
And it's definitely a little too new, yeah. Like, Musashi's got impact, Herc has impact. Like, even Noah would have more impact because at least we, like, know about him from, like, Arcade and other, like, mentions and stuff.
So, who would I want to fight in the Rider duel? Well, my knee-jack ranch is to say Drake. There's not enough Drake love out there. There really isn't. And she keeps bailing our asses out!
Drake's a very classy one. That would be pretty good.
That's like, I would love for Drake to, get a little bit of an animation bump and have a sick MP or something. Sick new MP.
She is, not necessarily a Grand, but is one of those people who, like you said, keeps bailing us out and, like, has kind of that edge of, like, doing impossible shit.
Yeah, no, literally has,
defeated Poseidon twice.
Is it Voyager of the Stars? Pioneer of the Stars? I can't remember the proper name of it.
Pioneer,
but, she has a skill to, make the impossible slightly more possible. And it's just, God, I just love it so much. Axe, please don't talk to me right now.
No, it's Pioneer of the Stars, Voyager on the seas.
Okay.
I think there might be a Voyager of the Stars skill, but that's different.
Yeah. But, no, because I would love to see something of the MP animation that they did for, like, Musashi's and Herc's. Oh, they were both so
hell,
good.
Herc has a new fucking sprite set.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not going to say that, like, Indra didn't have the Flash, but also that was, again, there's no extra sauce on that, right? Like I know, and then Chad was even talking about it, like, yes, he gets set up and introduced in the event, but it's like, I'm just seeing that guy for the first time,
Yeah. I think a scanner would also probably be a pretty good choice.
You could probably do something with, like, a different, a revamp of Iona Heteroids for sure.
Yeah. Me, I stand Nemo in this house, but I don't think he'd be necessarily a good fit for the duel. If we're going the Nemo route, might as well just pull out frickin' Noah,
Yeah, it does the same thing.
Oh, I would also like to say Medusa, but
yeah, I'm about to say,
can
Medusa's we just like Medusa is supposed to be like really, really strong,
really, really strong. Also, like, it would also be a little crazy if we actually got, like, a writer, Yoshitsune. I know Yoshitsune's supposed to be a saber, but I would love to see just, like, a grown-up Ushiwaka writer.
I mean, that's, if you're doing the enemy version, that's pretty easy to set up.
Yeah.
Well, no, here's the thing, 100 Hour Man. Medusa is that strong. It's just that people are OP.
Yeah.
Like, the power level of the 5th Grail Roar is incredibly high. Like, Medusa is, like, one of the most famous monster ladies in history. Like, crazy high fame bonus effect. And, like, she's able to, with just a little bit of extra sauce, fight against, like, Saber Alter and stuff. Like, she's very strong, but she also is, like, severely limited by Shinji being very dog shit. And Sakura doesn't want to fight, so she's holding back most of the routes as well. It's just not the appropriate matchup. Now that also, like, technically, Artoria, Saber, should have also fucking swept that Grail War, but her mana draw was dog shit also. Like, everything's supposed to make sense, Herc also probably should have soloed, but it's, the whole thing.
No. If I want to make my meme pick, I would love to have a Blackbeard Grand Duel just so we can beat up Blackbeard.
We should do that just
I
as
love
a joke.
Blackbeard, but I also love beating up Blackbeard.
That should just
It's
be
always
one
a-
of the joke stage, like one of the training stages is just fighting Grand Blackbeard, and then he's clearly not the Grand because we just beat him up.
Yeah.
Please. That's, yeah.
Actually, let me pull up the writers real quick here. Let me see if anyone actually like really.
I'm trying to
stands
think.
out to me.
There are a few other like good pulls. Like I think
Ooh,
there was
Odysseus
some,
would probably be good.
he's a strong guy. Yeah, we met that guy.
Yeah.
Like Medusa's obviously like a classic with a lot of baggage. Achilles is also like super strong and technically nerfed in FGO because like all of his extra noble phantasms are sealed as skills.
Mm-hmm. Watch out, Grand Rider Astolfo. He's gonna kick everyone's ass.
Astolfo's just like, the moon is gone. That's it. That's the only thing that makes him grand. I mean, we have the special stage marker for like sunless darkness, you know.
Oh, that could be funny. But like I said, no. I think my number one pick would definitely be Drake, and then probably Iskander. They just have I feel like they just have the weight that I look for in it. Because we have a fair amount of writers, but you know, Marie Antoinette doesn't necessarily feel it to me. Same with like Boudica's pretty good, but again, Boudica's been kind of
Boudica and Mary don't have the cachet to be like the pinnacle of writerhood, you know?
Yeah.
Like, even if the Grand Writer duel isn't literally against the Grand Candidate, there's still like you need to have a lot of extra sauce, a lot of extra aura. Who's the pinnacle of swordsmanship? Miyamoto Musashi works, tracks. And like quintessential berserker, it's Herc.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Even talking about it, like, just because he's not hyped up by the story, Indra is a good pick for Grand Lancer. It is, you know, his spear that Karna uses, you know, and has his own legends, you know, overcoming Vitra and other stuff. So, like, there's some room in there for that to work. It's just, it's not quite the same narrative appeal of, like, absolutely Skahawk would have been kind of, like, there.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
they don't have to be, but they also didn't establish the rules. They started with Musashi. And then they did Herc. Like, they were using classic characters and not reintroducing. Like, technically, if we were going by, like, actual lore in the slot, we probably should have fought, like, a Berserker variant Tez for Grand Duel. You know, the one we fought and lost about 7. But they didn't do that because, like, again, there's like, this strong implication with the couple of the servants we've gotten so far that they're holding back, you know? Like the Herc we get is, like, real Herc. Big one. Yeah, basically, somebody who would be a cool pick and that makes sense. I think, honestly, the Indra thing was just not necessarily that they didn't have ideas for Grand Lancer, but they were probably in the workshop, like, trying to work up to Indra, you know, sometime in the past year or so, and we're like, oh, where can we find a good spot for Indra? You know, he is a god. What will we be doing? And it's like, oh, well, fuck it. Let's just make him the Grand Lancer duel. We'll do, like, an intro event. We'll do the lotto, you know, a challenge, and then he'll show up for the Grand Duel, and it's a whole thing. And obviously that guy's, like, involved and they like him because they got his VA to show up at FGO Fest, like right away.
Yeah.
Like a month after he was in the game. So, like, obviously they're proud of that one.
Oh, be proud. Like I said, who knows? Maybe I'll get into the event and I'll find him hilarious or something, but it's not Skahawk.
I feel like Indra's gonna miss me a little bit because, like, everybody talked about how, like, his whole thing about, oh, you're not cool enough to be the master for my son, Arjuna, is, like, they felt it was, like, very, like K-drama or Chinese drama coded, and I'm like, that's very good for you. I'm so out of touch with that side of pop culture. I'm like, you've completely whiffed me.
I haven't watched a K-drama in a long time.
I know they exist. I know they're popular. There might be some in my Netflix queue. There's so much shit in my Netflix queue, man. I don't know.
But, let us move it on to our last one, but definitely not least. Agent 418 saying, hello, Lucky Omega. P.S. Have a good weekend, y'all. Same to you, my friend. Same to you. But with that and that, we're done with the mailbag. Thank you all so much for your submissions. I hope we see more next time.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. We're at about an hour, but
We're
let's
only
run
an
up a
hour.
short intermission
Righto.
and then come back to Free Talk. Okay. The recording is resumed. Sorry, I was leaning back a little bit, scooting back into my chair. Okay, Free Talk.
Free talk.
Couple of things for y'all. So let us talk about new servants. Let me close that tab. Because we got our last two summer servant banners, our last two summer servants on the banner. And also didn't talk about the welfare yet, so we'll peg that one in there. So starting off in my notes, we have it's probably, Yones Crane, Youth Crane, but it could be June's Crane. the French word for youth and June would be written the exact same way. I also, technically, if it is French, the Japanese is probably pronouncing it wrong, but, they don't do the ya for ja thing. But Miss Crane here is an SR alter ego. I'm pretty sure she's weighted more for attack than HP. Her attack stat's pretty close to her HP stat. That comparison gets a little easier to do with SRs. But she does still have a caster's quick arts buster deck. Slightly above average hits, so low NP gain. Pretty low NP gain. She's like 0.37. Her Noble Defentism is AoE arts. It removes offensive buffs first. It gives all enemies confusion for 3 turns, which is a 30% chance to trigger and hit them with a skill seal for 1 turn. And it gives them critical resistance down for 20% for 3 turns. If they don't have the Summer Glow trait, which Summer Glow is children, summer alignment, summer mode trait. So summers and children. Youth. It's true. Young people do usually care about summer. So yeah, there's a technical demerit there, but most enemies you're going to hit with the critical resistance down. So basically the way that works is it's the reverse of critical effectiveness up or critical damage up. It's just a down. It's there. Overcharge effect is arts up for 1 turn first. Pretty typical NP charger stuff for overcharge. Her first skill gives the party 10 to 20% arts up and 20 to 30% crit up, or crit resistance up. See the resistance in my notes now here for 3 turns. It also makes them 1 time 3 turns immune or debuff immune and evasion. So decent little spread of survivability. Second skill gives the whole party 20% gauge, 10 to 20% MP damage up, 20 to 40% mental debuff success. So mental debuffs is stuff like charm, confusion, and certain other effects. It also gives the whole party 20 to 30% damage up versus enemies who have mental debuffs for 3 turns. Ooh. So you may be sensing a strategy. Confusion, by the way, is a mental debuff. Skill seal is not. Confusion is. Final skill is a 60% chance to charm all enemies, which is also should be a mental debuff. 20 to 30% battery for self, and 20 to 30% NP damage for self. So this does mean she technically has a 50% charge because she can do 30% for herself and 20% for party. Also means that she has an effective 50% NP damage for herself because she does 20% for party and 30% for self, which for a 4-star is pretty good. Pretty spicy on there and has a couple of ways to get her extra damage going. Passives, she has a custom item creation, which gives the party debuff success up, 6.5%, I believe. And she has an interesting variant on presence concealment. I believe it's phrased as, presence, adjustment or presence acclimation. She's getting used to presence. Mm-hmm. But it gives her improved star gen quite a lot. I think she has like 15 or 20%. But she has a 5% crit chance resistance down. Basically, I think she's got 5% more likely chance to get critted. So it comes with a debuff. And also, she has a final passive, which goes for that Summer Glow. Summer Glow allies get 500 healing, 3 stars per turn, and 10% NP gauge per turn. Or 10% NP gain, sorry. NP gauge per turn is later. So you get gain up, healing, and 3 stars per servant, by the way. I also am pretty sure, if I understood the Summer Glow correctly, she herself counts as Summer Glow. So you get a little bit extra NP gain, which means probably why her natural NP gain is so glow. But it means that she's got a little bit of healing and you're generating stars per turn. So very interesting kind of utility for Summer Servants as an ally. Ability to handle for tasks herself. Interesting combo for mental debuffs. And just her NP with the, offensive buffs removed and the chance for confusion. And just big party-wide and self debuffs probably fits pretty good into arts teams. And like I said, there's probably something there for that team-wide 30% mental debuff damage up. If you've got I don't know if a charm stall team exists, especially because so many bosses in this game are either debuff immune or are immune to stuns specifically, but there's definitely some ideas there. Now for the big one. Summer Tiamat's here to save quick, apparently. She is an archer. She's SSR. She has high attack and lower HP. Interestingly enough, going kind of the other way you'd expect for Tiamat. She is QQ, average hits, high NP gain. She's over 5% here. I actually think she's 0.6 something. And her NP is quick support. Quick, non-damaging. So, your party gets 1 turn of invul, straight up. You get 50 to 100% debuff resistance for 3 turns. So, you're effectively debuff immune for 3 turns, unless the enemy has some kind of chance adjustment there. Your whole party gets 32% arts and quick up for 3 turns, based on NP level. And the overcharge effect is critical damage up for 3, which scales according to the overcharge level as well. I do believe it maxes at 50%, I think, but yeah. So, all in all, decent stuff. Oh no, I think that if we ever got new bronzes or silvers, like Old Man Turban kind of does that, but he's also mostly just there to fix everybody's fucking battlefield effects. But yes, for skills, Summer Tiamat, her first skill gives the party, again, 10 to 20% arts up and quick up for 3 turns. So, obviously that is going to mean that if you max out the skill and only have her at NP1, you're doing 50% no matter what. If you go all the way to NP5, you're looking at like fucking 70% arts and quick up for 3 turns on her NP turn, which is pretty good. It's another one-time 3 turns, 50 to 100% buff removal resist, so you only get 1 shot of it, but it is a guaranteed buff removal resist at max level, and also gives the party +2 overcharge for 1 time 3 turns. So very, very solid support stuff out there. Second skill, she's got a 30-50% battery up on self, 20-30% NP battery for the other party members. It is specifically broken up there. Has 10 to 20% attack up for 3 turns, and is a 1k to 2k heal for the whole team. So she charges her non-damaging NP pretty good, and also gives the party some charge. And it's a charisma, and it's a heal. Final skill gives every member of the team 8 stars per turn, a star regeneration buff. People should know from Himiko how crazy that can be, giving the whole squad star gen buffs. 30 to 50% crit up for party for 3 turns, and 5 to 10% NP per turn for 3 turns. That was the one I was talking earlier with the NP per turn. Passives are Magic Resistance A, Independent Action A very big and EX rank Goddess Essence for even more debuff resist. We're talking almost the 50-50 here. And she also has Self-Mod Summer, which gives her a 10% crit resistance and a 300 damage cut, all times, permanent. Is Quick Stall a thing? I think we just invented Quick Stall.
Rad.
I don't know if Summer Tiamat quote-unquote saves quick, but we basically just got the Jean for quick teams, except that unlike Jean, Tiamat has an offensive weight and has crazy good crit buffs for herself, so sometimes she'll sneak in an Arts or Buster crit to just cold cock you. But, like, genuinely, very strong spread, and obviously, like, Scotty and Summer Scotty still do a lot for quick to just be like, you, NP, now, overcharge your quick. But Tiamat does provide you with new buffs that are going to be very useful for quick teams, like the overcharge levels, generating NP per turn passively, giving you longevity. Like, Quick, I do not believe had, like, stallers like Arts did with units like the classic Jean and Tamamo, Mm-hmm. And obviously, I don't think Summer Tiamat's quite like a Tamamo in there, because she doesn't have, like, a huge defense up, herself, and her heal is not single target, it's spread throughout the team. But, like I said, she's got huge debuff resist, she's got a big chance to give the party debuff resist, her NP is always 1 full turn of invul, so we got some opportunity, and those stonks on the arts and quick damage up are very big. So, last but not least, let's talk about the latest Uma, Huyan Summer, Welfare Berserker. She is also high attack, low HP, in that her attack is higher than her HP total, which is something you only get on 4 stars, I think. Just the way the math works for 5 stars is that doesn't happen even if they are super high attack. But she's got like 100 more attack than she has HP.
All attack, no defense. Sounds about right.
She's QQA. She has good hits and average NP gain. I think she's like 0.5 something. Her NP is AoE quick. It gives a flat 30% chance to stun all enemies. Has a 20% crit chance reduction for 3 turns, flat on enemies. Overcharge is increased damage versus lawful. So she's got a bonus damage, she has a chance to stun, and no matter what, enemies are getting a crit chance reduction. Her first skill gives her Ignore Defense for 3 turns, 23% attack up for 3 turns on self, and a 1-turn huge Star Absorb buff. It starts at like 1,000% and maxes like 3,000%, y'all. She gets all the stars. Also, the Ignore Def is for 3 turns is very fun. Second skill gives herself what seems at first like a pretty minimal 10 to 20% quick up for 3 turns, but gives her a special buff that applies that activates whenever she is given healing or a max HP up, where she gets another 10% quick up for 3 turns. This does not include CEs or command codes which give healing, but does apply for like certain end of turn heals like Galatea's regeneration buff and stuff like that.
Okay.
So skills that would proc healing, you can get a lot of extra juice out. It also is at 2 hits, 3 turns of 8. So it's not nothing, no matter what. Final skill is a mandated 20 to 30% battery on herself, a 20 to 30% crit up for 3 turns, and a further 50 to 100% crit up for 1 turn, and also 10 to 20 stars. So for one turn, you get like 130% crit chance. Also, by the way, she has a 1-turn star weight buff, so like you can force some crazy crits.
Oh, especially on a berserker, Jesus.
Yeah, no, like the damage, like this is a rare case where like, yeah, she has an NP that's pretty good, you know, increased damage versus lawful, that's good for farming, but also it's an arts, so you just like switch into the crit, you just, you know, shift into the crit mode and just like, okay, we're now criticaling, you're dead. Also, she has 2 buster cards and gets Madness Enhancement EX, so those busters are big busters. And she also has a passive where she gets 10% more likely to absorb stars on her buster cards.
Oh, okay.
So not crazy, but a very solid welfare. Great damage output. And she does have defenses here. You know, she's got a 2 hits, 3 turns evade and stuff, and can reduce enemy crit chance. With her, you know, her evades and her desire to be healed, I think she's got some chance for longevity. And like I said, huge crit potential. That like those 2 buffs, those crit buffs scale. They scale the same with level, but they scale independently. So like I said, it's she generates so much for herself in that 1 burst turn, and then still keeps like ongoing effects. Pair her with somebody like like, I mean, it's not perfect because she's not really arts focused, but like Lady Avalon has some very great, you know, regeneration potential in there. Classic Merlin, he gives you a max HP up and like a huge turn for buster crit and has an invul. All kinds of critical buffers out there. And we just talked about it. You want free overcharge? We just buffed Waver. That guy's a crazy good targeted crit buff. So should be very fun. All of this year's summers are very solid. But that means that it's time for us to take a little diversion to talk about the first Olga quest.
First Olga quest.
Olga Mary quest number 1. So this has a little story.
Yeah.
It's got an intro and an outro. Basically, step 1, the still unseen, but now having a text bubble and a name, the Count, the unaccounted for disciple, basically goes, man, it's a huge waste that Olga Mary died and lost about 7. What if? And then he grabs the 4 fragments that our boy Gatia told us about. And then I think Rasputin was just kind of like, meh. But, you know, charges them with elemental energy, which, as I did in my intro, very curiously, we're missing water, I believe. I'm pretty sure the green one is you know, Wimdy.
Well, it also might be tied into the personality aspects and the Olga Maries. It's not unlocked now, but each of the Marys do have a entry.
They have a Spirit Origin profile, yeah.
Yeah. Like there is stuff like Flare Mariga, even though she is a, you know, completely silent, does actually have a personality and stuff written to her. It's just apparently for the first one, the language circuits weren't connected, so I just got ate by a bear.
So the two piece is water.
Oh, okay.
So one of the medallion pieces is water, but the archetypes did not look watery. We're gonna find it. Are we gonna get an extra one in here?
Maybe.
Who knows? But yeah, as you said, this was very simple. I mean, he says it even in the encounter, but we get an alert about a huge gravitational field. It's fucking with the foundation of humanity. We go to check it out. We have a very trippy experience.
Yes.
Where gravity is being warped all ways.
Fucked up, so we got topsy-turvied a little bit.
I think at one point we're basically tumbling end over end or rotating end over end with gravity.
Yeah, for one, we got spun, idiot.
Yeah. Kadok goes with us on the field team and even says, man, I'm glad I skipped breakfast. Kadok, don't skip breakfast. It's important. But we already saw that because the location was in the middle of the Atlantic where Olympus was, and we can see on the scopes that there's a little tiny recreation of the shrine at the top of Olympus.
Yeah.
That's it, though. None of the rest of it. But once we actually get there, we clearly get from the dialogue, the Count, who's being all voice-only mode, is in fact just fucking with us. He is decided it was a huge waste, you know, that Olga Mary didn't get to do anything. So he's instead of you, Olga, it's E-Olga. The E, I'm sure, stands for element.
It's like the elemental Iries all over again.
Yeah, basically. But he does in fact straight up say that he's fucking with us. Like, he is trying to stop us because technically we are on the path to defeat the foreign god and the foreign planet. So he should probably stop us. And so he's decided to, you know, resurrect the Olga Mary fragments as Machine Avengers. is how he phrased it. And, put them in the four corners for us to fight. After the battle, he even talks further about how he was like, I wanted this one to be like a tough, but not too tough. And the second one, I want you to fucking die. The third one, also die. The fourth one, you'll find out later, winky face. The Count has a sense for the theatrical chat, is what we're getting at. Which you do get. The Count has it's limited, but a very strong character, I think, through dialogue. He's very associated with, like, theatricality, talks about kind of, like, setting up his own art.
No, there was a line that really sold him to me, but I can't remember what it was. Me and my poor memory failing me in the important moments.
More Count.
Yes.
Don't you worry, chat. You'll get more Count.
We're gonna get more.
Most
Count.
people can probably reckon how that's gonna work out, but we'll see. But yeah, we run it all back. We decide to square it up. Mash gets very mad.
I
Mash
got very
angry.
mad.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with my president? You stop that. You stop that right now.
And as usual, at the end, Chaldea kind of turns it into a positive where, like, everybody's kind of a little down about it, but then Gordolf switches in and he's like, nope, listen, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. Do it for us.
It's going to be great.
We'll
We're going to, completely make sure that this doesn't fuck up anything, and if it happens to, save Olga Marie's reputation, then I guess that's a nice bonus.
If her ghost shows up, I'll take care of it. I'll answer myself. Just imagining fucking Gordolf getting Christmas caroled. Except it's the ghosts of Olga Mary, past, present, future.
I'm sorry. I just want to think about the current state of Chaldea with Unbe's Olga there, and it's all just showing that to Gordolf.
I'm sure he's got some thoughts. We'll see, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna be in some story chapters.
I don't know. They actually was double checking her profile, and they're definitely saying that thing of all like the timeline's weird. We ask that you don't think too hard about it. So who knows?
But yes, the fight itself. So they're gonna do more of this stuff. This is our first case of them really, really trying to fucking squungle with the mechanics here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I mentioned it before. It's a 10 consecutive battles. You only get 3 servants. There can be no overlap between servants and CEs. The only actual Madame Prez fights at the very end. Though some of these other fights you got to go through are a little tougher than you might think. I did actually have to reset a couple of my early fights because I tried way too hard to ort this. I played a little too softball, and then I realized, no, that's not what we're doing here. I should like pick best in slot if I can.
Yes.
So there's only one fight that really taxed me. I mentioned it before in the pregame, but number 4 is Bargus and Gawain, and they have a permanent revive effect if one is killed, and the other's still alive. They revive with full HP, complete reset.
See, I didn't let them do that, so I am very happy.
Yeah, no, I just had a struggle that, like I said, my AoE archer situation is a little scrungled. Most of my archer class stuff I've tried to solve with Orion, Super Orion, and that shit doesn't work.
Nope. I will say I was fortunate. I did have level 100 Summer Bargus and Durga to clap cheeks, as it were.
Yeah, and I probably could have just like run out the clock and done like a little like whittle down and then get 1 NP to reset, but I didn't like that, so I just reset and I reassembled. So we did Ishtar, Emiya, and Waver is kind of my charge / team-wide buffer, and I just waited a little bit, alternated some damage until all 3 of them had their NPs up all at once, so that was enough to kind of level it out.
No, ultimately, I think the quest took some thinking, but wasn't, didn't, necessarily break a person. Like I said, I had to do 1 retry myself. It was on the Kremhild fight, just because I think that she focus fired my my first servant. I don't remember who it was. Forgive me, but
yeah, she does. Some of these guys, I think, have some of that funny fighty AI,
and so that turned into a struggle. But I was able to easily turn it around to the second go. Like I told this Omega, like Omega in the pre-show, I actually didn't take like almost any CEs into the fights. Like I just went on like pure servant power. Like I said, I do roll a fairly munch, and I do have like some well-developed servants, so it worked. I did have CEs on the last fight, but also I took Uncle Vlad, Tomomo, and Castoria into that one, and Marie did not have a good time. She really did not. That was literally 4 turns.
Yeah, I went for a slow strat. I revived the art stall. My RIP Galatea. My summer Ibuki at NP2 hit as hard with her AoE NP as Galatea NP1 did with her single target NP. So we just went John Castoria. I knew what I was doing for the last one and locked it in. But no, like honestly, I think it was those, like I said, number 1 and 2 I had to go back and reset because I was like, I'm clearly too softball. People who are in our Discord, join our Discord, can see what like my teams ended up being for the first run where I was like very clearly trying harder. And, like, some of those notes were, like, crazy good. Like, Kets, baby, the buster up was bad. That was a bad idea. I got a lot of buster assassins. I just had Koyanskaya of Light handing Gramps a gun, being like, hey, try this.
Go, do a crime.
And he was ready to rock. I don't think I needed Yume Ren as my other anchor. Similarly, there was a Lancer Dragon who had like 900k HP, so I went a little ham. I didn't have to do that. I think I could have had my Medusa Saber solo it. She is NP2 and grailed to 100 already in like 10, but like, no, that was... I fucking turned that guy to stone like twice. Absolutely beat his ass.
Kick his ass.
Like, Yang Guifei, I think I did actually like accidentally trigger her mechanic a little bit sometimes. Like, I didn't generate enough stars, but we got enough juice with Alter Egos to get in there.
Yeah, I only got one effect ever, and it was I don't remember what it was, but it was...
Basically, she's got a trick where, like, if you generate less than 20 stars, she gets special resistance to everything except crits for 1 turn, but otherwise she gets defense down, so you chew through her HP faster.
Yeah, no, she always got the resist down, but I still mop the floor with her.
Hey, you just do enough damage, it's not hold.
Yeah.
Of course, it was Ku with the 3 turns of evade.
Yeah.
Guess what, buddy? You're a caster. Die. Origin bullet. I do think that he has like a special AI though. I brought my Quetzalcoatl and my Maeve to that.
Mm-hmm.
T absolutely did nothing but attack Maeve the whole time, which is not a good idea because Maeve is a tank. She has huge HP and recovery. I did burn seals to do Flare Mary on a couple of NP pulls and at least 1 full repair origin on Ibuki.
No, I used all my command spells as well, but it wasn't like for a revive. It was all just like, fire my MP.
Yeah, I used 2 for NP to for the final push, and 1 for like... 1 was basically like, oh, Ibuki's almost dead. Let's repair Spirit Origin. Also, I have a little bit of Berserker class score.
Same.
A little bit of extra spice. And
very sad.
We rocked
my
that up.
caster class score would be done, but I need so many fucking caster statues. Caster statues.
Yeah, no, my statues are bad, man. I don't know if we get a good statue farm going.
I might empty out the pure prism shop of them just to see where that gets me.
Well, we will get reloads of that, so and more prisms. But yeah, there's a lot of different strats you can do, chat. Like I said, I will say the only thing I think that's a little frustrating is they're trying to be nice, but there are a couple of small limitations. Like, I'm pretty sure I noticed when I just retried Wave, the command hands basically stay the same until you hit like a fork. Like, if a servant died previously and they don't die in the new run, the deck is actually different. But other than that, I think I got the same starting hand every time. And you can reset waves, like go to the start of a wave and re-party, but it will not save any of your parties further down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta rebuild everything going forward.
You don't have to do that. They literally have a rebuild previous set on that. You can hit that button, it'll just put everyone in.
I didn't see it. I didn't call it out to me.
It was
because it said they did have the warning that like if you hit start from wave, you'll have to rebuild your teams.
Yeah.
So remember, why doesn't it default remember?
I don't know why it doesn't. You're right. It does not default, but there is.
Yeah, because it empties them out.
Yes.
I'm glad that you can reload them. Maybe I'll check that out if I because you can replay optionally.
Yes.
But like I don't know why it doesn't remember because it locks in your squads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really annoying to manually rebuild your teams.
It is.
Also, I just completely forgot about Mystic Code because it's like you don't see your normal screens when you're doing the 3-1. So I had the summer one. It's fine for the XP, but I probably could have used different EXP there. You keep your master skill cooldowns between fights, which is both a positive and also a negative. But you can't change that at all once you're locked in. I do like that you can pretty seamlessly pause and both resume from where you paused and just resume from a wave.
Yeah. No, they put some thought and effort into this. And I like it.
And honestly, mostly just the small stuff is just like, I'm assuming are probably just like small road bumps with the FGO code being so old.
Probably.
but like it's pretty good. We'll see kind of how the rest of them do. Like I believe it's the latest one that's got like the like reserve parties stuff.
Mhm.
So that'll be interesting. All of them have different whatchamacallits, like class advantages. Which I do want to say, thank you, game, for the very explicit large window. Recommended offensive, defensive. Not recommended offensive, defensive. Like, thank you for spelling that out. They don't tell you exactly how much it is, but they do say, hey, don't do that. But like most of the rest of these are basically going to be like in that similar kind of format.
Well, I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm
I'm always happy to see more of the
Yes.
president, even if it's the elemental presidents.
Well, they all have their own distinct, slightly different designs.
Yes.
Flair obviously has her red coloring, but her horns are slightly different. One of them is broken, and the like, and the same with the others down the line. The next fight will be interesting because that one will be you don't get your. Remember what I said about Mystic Codes? Forget that shit. You'll get special presidential master skills, which will work off a badge system where you kill enemies to get more badges to spend. So there's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, it's not it. It did take me most of my afternoon today, just because I kept like waiting to do it, because I wanted some time, and we've been doing lots of other stuff throughout the week. But it still only took me a day of tinkering, so it's not that tough. You can do it, chat. It definitely, I feel like through, so like I said, some of my class comparisons in there, I'm like, man, I really could have used a big, strong looping archer, but my only one in there is Summer Jean, and like. She kind of loops, but she's also big about that fucking, that HP value stuff. But yeah, there's your Prez Watch.
Prez Watch.
That's how long have we gone? Not quite 2 hours. We don't want to rush the show, but we do have stuff we want to be doing. So, let's go to What's Up.
What's up? The FGO time is over. Owarida.
What's Up time begins now. Let me pull up the opening night live news.
Yeah, so Gamescom's going on. We had the opening night live hosted by Jeff Keighley. Seems to be the de facto game presenter nowadays.
And they did run the opening night through Game Awards, like YouTube channel and stuff. I don't think they're like directly like interrelated, but Gamescom, calls upon Jeff Keighley's apparatus for this. But yeah, they had some games, some stuff not as big, but still, they ran through a few different trailers. Let's see, some big ones. There's a lot of emphasis on Call of Duty Black Ops 7, with at least a little bit of attention paid to the decent amount, I should honestly say, to the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
They
doing
seem to be
something
kind
weird,
of
but hey, sure.
I mean, yeah,
go for it.
It's Black Ops though. That's kind of like their excuse to be weird. It seems like they're trying to continue. I don't know how they've made the story of Black Ops last 7 games, but they seem to be, bringing in all the elements from various previous entries in the Black Ops field together. Let's see, we got a big teaser and talk about, second season of Fallout, so I watched the first one. People are saying it's like a new reveal, but I could have sworn I saw the Lords of the Fallen 2 trailer already. Did I get a fucking, like, flashback from the Berenstain universe or something, chat?
You might have. It also might have been another game, because I do remember that Mortal Shell 2 was also recently announced.
It's
but
true. There are a couple... There's like a sequel to like Blasphemous that came out there, but I could have sworn I saw some of the imagery in the Lords of the Fallen trailer already, but they're getting a sequel. We're getting a new Lego Batman game.
Looks silly. Looks like we're combining the Arkham series with the Dark Knights trilogy, and then Legoing it up.
Yeah, they did kind of say that they're kind of like they said they wanted to build the definitive, Batman experience from kind of like year one stage, to the full, Dark Knight type stuff, Bat Family and all. So they're drawing from elements of Arkham games, obviously, with like the mechanics, but Nolan films, Burton films, other stuff. Said they will even include, TV and comics. So I don't know. We might see some references to Batman the Animated Series type stuff in there. An interesting take, but not undeserved.
Lego can be weird. Like, it's Lego. Lego gets to do funny things.
Yeah. There's a trailer for the Sekiro anime.
Yeah.
No Defeat to debut in 2026. Apparently being called a 1-to-1 anime adaptation.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we get right down to it, I'm gonna be real. Sekiro is just just walking down the street to go fight the biggest, baddest dudes you can.
Yeah, I mean, there's Sekiro was, as among other things, kind of a difference in the plot structure for Souls-likes and Soulsborne games, because it has a plot structure that's very clear, very, very, very straightforward, and like actually involves emotional buy-in from the player, because you are doing a lone wolf and cub thing, and then you gotta save that kid. Whereas like a lot of the other games are just like Bloodborne is literally like, welcome to Yharnam, here's some blood, werewolves.
Ah! You don't have to engage in the story at all on that shit.
No, you see the hunter's dream, and the doll and Garrett are just like, you hunt
Go
now,
kill
here,
shit.
gun, and you're like, okay. The Dark Souls the Dark Souls games have like opening narration, so the player understand what's going on in the plot. Usually, I feel like the undead doesn't. You're just like stuck in a cell traditionally, or like I think in Dark Souls 2, you pop out of a coffin. Like you're just kind of like vibing. Elden Ring, you very explicitly start kind of like a crawling out of a graveyard type shit. You're a tarnished who should be dead, and you're just like, no, what if I wasn't? So like Sekiro, I think has a fairly strong plot, and all of the jokes about finding the lore through like ring drops aside, all of FromSoft's games do have very strong narrative themes that they like to go through. Kind of surprising. For me was you said that this is why they decided to definitive it, but getting Dawn of War 4.
Yeah.
Don't think anybody was really expecting that one. The Blood Ravens are back.
I mean, they were talking about how Dawn of War was getting all its fancy stuff, and I was just all like, yeah, no, that makes sense. They're coming out with a new one.
Probably they worked on the engine and stuff and the assets, so, new game, 4 factions. They did at least say 4 distinct factions. I'm kind of surprised because it's, first of all, no chaos. It's, gonna be, Space Marines, the Blood Ravens, Mechanicus, who are getting a sequel to their game sometime soon. They already have Warhammer 40k Mechanicus, and we're getting Mechanicus too. Orcs and Necrons. So if you are an Eldar fan, cry. Also, no Imperial Guard, which is very striking. But they'll have room for like DLCs and expansions and stuff. And the Dawn of War games are very, very good at what they do. I've played the original Dawn of War through all the way, and tried to play several of the expansion campaigns and stuff. Like it is very iconic for what it's doing. So I don't think anybody was asking for a sequel, because Dawn of War 3 was one of those games that was like, well, it's like okay, but it was a little weird. They kind of did the thing where like they started to pivot away from like it was like Dawn of War 2 and 3 were less like the campaigns anyway, were less like RTS campaigns and more like almost like third person like clicker RPGs kind of a thing. Like you had a handful of distinct characters, and you would still do stuff like summon units and get requisition and stuff. But let's see. There was the Monster Hunter X Final Fantasy collab. We already talked about that.
Yoshi P came out with one of the guys from Capcom. Unfortunately, I do not remember his name.
Who's the
I do also want to shout out that Jeff Keighley also called out Yoshi P.
Yeah, he straight up said it. He was like,
yeah.
And Yoshi P, he knows what's up.
But they announced the Monster Hunter X Final Fantasy 14 collab. We're gonna get to fight Omega Weapon and probably a couple other things. They'll probably do some weird ass missions in there. Because while like in World, the big fight was the Behemoth fight, had a bunch of mechanics, but there was also a couple other things. Like I can't remember the name of the chicken raptor. There's a fucking chipter raptor that likes to pick up rocks. You had a special quest where it pick up a crystal and get really fucking big. It was slightly terrifying. So we'll probably get more than just like one quest, but
we'll probably get some extra stuff. And they did show that we're basically swapping mounts. You'll get Secrets in 14, and you'll get the ability to like fully dress up your Secret as a Chocobo in Wilds.
That's gonna be rad.
Pretty good one.
And then, on the back half of that announcement, they announced the Final Fantasy 14 X Monster Hunter Wilds collab, and we're gonna get to fight Arkveld. I'm excited to see what we're gonna do for the armor on that.
Yeah,
because we can't get just the standard Rathalos armor, so if we can just get the standard ass Arkveld armor, that's gonna be rad. That's gonna be fucking sick.
It's gonna look pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at the trailers. I mean, they showed a new cinematic for the next World of Warcraft expansion, which people are like interested in, but it was just a CG intro.
Warcraft ain't for me, guys. World of Warcraft ain't for me.
Nah, I don't think so. Even if I've broken
I'm-
the MMO barrier, I don't think it's for me.
I'm gonna go play, I'm gonna go play Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness.
Ooh, fair. Let's see. There was like the look at the like English dub of Silent Hill F, which looks very good.
Yeah.
Susie Young is going to be the main character. That's Yuffie in the remake games, so she's doing good for herself. So
Yeah.
we got another Onimusha trailer, but it was just kind of like another Onimusha trailer. Like, it looks good.
Looking slashing. I'll probably pre-order at the beginning of the year. Probably.
World of Tanks had a couple of things here, which was interesting. They're going 2.0.
Yeah.
Which it is kind of like I'm not a World of Tanks guy. Like, those games are interesting, but I don't want they're free to play, kind of like I want to say like churn games. Like, you either get sucked in and it's your whole ass life, or you spend money. Because
no, like I said, those kind of games I feel are too much for the guys who love that milsim life.
they're neat. I don't mind a milsim, but like I also don't want to get bogged in the fucking War Thunder or the World of Tanks shit, you know?
Yeah.
They did also announce a new spin-off called World of Tanks Heat, which seems to be some kind of like extra flair type stuff. The summary on Polygon is like hero shooter flavor. I don't know about that. It looked like they're just letting you do like wild, insane tank customization so you can build like tanks with jet boosters and stuff.
Listen, you can't leak the fucking documents if the tank doesn't actually exist.
Yes, no, perfect. Yeah. So that's a great one. Something we might be interested in is they showed off some gameplay for John Carpenter's Toxic Commando.
Yeah, no, like I don't mind the quintessential horde shooter. It just has to be better than Left 4 Dead. Like I said, Dark Time, great fun. Would be playing it tonight, except we got another game we're gonna play. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
So
we'll talk about
Toxic
that one soon.
Commando has a vibe, and I definitely want to see what it has to offer. But I need to see what it has to offer.
Yeah, it's got kind of the shoot monsters as a squad thing going on, but it's got kind of like that 80s action vibe, and I'm like, that's okay,
Yeah.
that's a vibe. We can do that. We can try it.
Oh shit, what was that fucking horde shooter that came out before? It was the one where you built your progression system was a card deck? Oh god, what was it called?
Are we thinking of Back 4 Blood?
Back 4 Blood, yes.
Yeah, that was kind
That
of
was
the Neo. Yeah,
Left 4
the
Dead.
internet doesn't like that one, but if you're crazy if you think actual Left 4 Dead 2 is better. I understand there's conversations about like, no, video games are not bad automatically because they're old, but like we have evolved as a genre since Left 4 Dead 2. Okay, Left 4 Dead 2 is like butt simple in terms of mechanics.
No, people love Left 4 Dead because they get to mod it and put in the stupid shit they love, and then they get to laugh at their friends about it. They don't actually play it for the game. They play it because they want to do something stupid.
Which is fine. Like, accessible moddable games for, like, shit posting, that's fine. But your experience with Left 4 Dead 2 now is not, like, your experience, like, if you had never played a horde shooter and picked up Left 4 Dead 2 today.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're doing, there was a new Outer Worlds 2 trailer.
Very tongue-in-cheek.
That was... Yeah, very tongue-in-cheek, because they did the companions, and they were like, no, you can't sleep with them. And it's like, I don't think the Outer Worlds, like, needed romance, but I do kind of feel like in the first game, there was a little bit of punch lacking from some of the companions. But that was like a floating robot in this one, so.
We'll see. Like I said, as a person who does like romance in his games, I feel like that has, decreased the amount I want to play Outer Worlds 2. I'll have to see if it wows me in other directions.
Yeah, I don't necessarily... I am not made or broken by, like, companion romances, but that is a thing that it's like, okay, well, if you don't have, like, cool, in-depth companion relationships where we're just, like, hanging out with these guys, well, what do they do for me? They're just kind of, like, different guys? They don't have to be companions. They could just be different guys. Let's see, they're doing a DLC for Indiana Jones. It looks good. There was a trailer for Ninja Gaiden 4. Looks like Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Theory kicking... Oh, wait, no, Team Ninja, excuse me. Wait, is it Ninja Theory or Team Ninja? Fuck, I don't remember.
Team Ninja. Team Ninja's Ninja Gaiden.
Team Ninja, thank you.
Is this even the full thing? If this is the full thing, that feels kind of limited.
There was other announcements, but I remember there was, like, smaller indie games. Like, I remember the guy who made Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island made an up-scrolling pixel roguelike that was debuted there.
Yep, kind of a neat. Here we go. Here's some more stuff. Let's see. Routine, kind of a VHS horror-looking first-person survival horror. That one's not going to be on PlayStation right away, so we'll see about picking that up. They showed some, like, pre-trailers that I thought were actually pretty good, because one of the ones they showed was by the developers of Ghost Runner.
Oh, yeah.
That's Valor Mortis, and that's going to be, like, a first-person kind of a Souls-like, which is deliberately Napoleonic. So like we're getting like
Ghost Ru-
Napoleonic horror.
Ghost Runner's a pretty damn good game, so that's probably something to be hype about. But
At least they got a distinct look. Of all things, they're making a Battlestar Galactica strategy game, Battlestar Galactica Scattered Hopes, which is influenced by the reboot TV show. And I'm like, that could be interesting, depending on how that works.
I've never been a Battlestar Galactica fan.
One thing I thought was very interesting, it's called, it was another pre-release trailer, it's PVKK. It's got a very long German name it's short for. It's one of those like weird, it's slightly indie looking. Yeah, maybe a little BioShock. Basically, it's one of those like you're an axe operator type games. You're operating a planetary defense cannon though. And they had like FMV footage of like actors, so I'm like, I'll keep an eye on that. I may watch some like streamers or something play that, but it could be an interesting one. So we got Call of Duty Black Ops, Sekiro, Batman, Dawn of War 4, Final Fantasy 14, Onimusha. Oh, we did get a trailer for Arknights Enfield.
No release date though, and people are molding.
Yeah, they've been in dev a very long time, and like their game looks pretty. They won some like awards and stuff, but they still don't have a date locked in. Let's see, Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion. Oh, that's right, EU5. That's a big deal for some people.
Yep.
One of the classic blocks of Paradox. Deadpool VR, but it's VR. Death by Scrolling.
That was the
Unbeatable was an interesting looking kind of game. God, you're not kidding though. I'm scrolling past several games that like their trailers didn't really interest me, but I barely noticed their names, and I'm just like, yeah, that just kind of like happened. There were just some trailers that just kind of existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. I mean, this one at least I'll give it was a weird concept. They showed off a game called Time Takers by NCSoft, which is like a third-person team shooter where you're like people from across time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we're trying at least. Bloober Team's working on Chronos: The New Dawn, which is very Dead Space looking.
I'm interested in that one.
Yeah, like I said, it seemed like they kind of had the vibes for. Oh God, what did I say? It's like it looked very Dead Space, but also kind of like scavengery.
Mm-hmm.
I had an analogy for it, but I don't remember it. Oh, there was a funny joke we had, which was you were like, "What is this? Dante's Inferno 2?" And I was like, "Kinda," because it's Divinia Commedia, literally the Divine Comedy.
It just had that feel. I don't know what it was, but I was looking at him. I'm like, this is Dante's Inferno right here. That reminds me. I'm gonna.
There is a trailer and a date for Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
People have been getting some reviews out on that demo, and people are saying it's pretty good.
That's interesting. I've been following this one since they announced it. It's been in dev hell for forever. If it's actually like stable and good, I'll give it a crack. There's some weirdness with like a couple of the clans are gonna be like day one DLC, which is annoying. But also, God, like this game literally like changed developers like 2 or 3 times and was rebuilt from the ground up like twice. Like, I'm not surprised they have to do some things to try and make some money.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, this is not necessarily very. Actually, no, fuck it. I know a decent amount about the Vampire, the Masquerade subculture and the White Wolf subculture. People will say that Fanged Superheroes isn't on point, but it is. I am interested in being able to deal punch rush as a vampire, which they've shown off in several trailers. And you might not think that's Vampire the Masquerade, but it is.
Celerity, baby.
We're getting Moonlighter 2. Age of Empires 4 is jumping to PS5. That's very interesting. They do keep trying to do that.
I'm not going to play Age of Empires on fucking console, guys. I'm just not. That's one of those games I'm like, no, that's a PC game for me.
Cult of the Lamb is getting a paid expansion early next year. Woolhaven.
Looks like
that's
we're getting
interesting.
winter.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a more Asian theme originally from some of the aesthetics, but it seems more winter focused.
They did get a little bit of that with like the mountains, but they got a few different things. This was interesting to hear you talk about because they showed a new trailer for Enshrouded, a Wake the Water update.
I got excited. They actually had water in the game. I played that game early when everywhere there was water was just kind of this red glowing energy that killed you if you touched it. So, bruh.
They brought out the water sim.
Yeah.
We got a little Ghost of Yotei trailer. Big drop on Resident Evil Requiem.
Yep, nope. So show maybe like, the opening moments or something.
Yeah, what's probably going to be like the little playable backstory / tutorial. That's right. They announced that Ghost of Yotei's getting a Legends co-op mode, multiplayer.
Yep. It's going to release, I believe, next year. It'll be free for people who own Ghost of Yotei, or otherwise it'll be like a standalone thing, if I remember correctly.
Should be, because they basically build it as exactly like Tsushima. And after Resident Evil, we did end the night with the makers of Black Myth announcing a new game, a Black Myth Zhonghui.
Yeah, no, apparently they're going to franchise it, which, personally, sounds awesome.
Yeah, you and I were not, like, 100% sold on Black Myth as, like, saving video games, but by all accounts, it's a pretty decent video game.
Hell, all accounts, it's a pretty great game. I'm not going to say, like, I would probably love to play it at some point. It's just, I got too many video games.
Yeah, paying full modern price for an action RPG that is not necessarily Souls-like, but is supposed to be, you know, quote-unquote hard. That's always a weird one. Probably have to watch people, like, actually play the gameplay to judge, because, like, I both for positive and for negative, I don't trust game developers when they say they plan their game to be hard or punishing. Because, like, that could either mean that it's, like, actually, like, harder than it needs to be, or they could say it's hard, but it's not actually hard. They just got, like, you know, stuff in there to make it annoying.
No, like I said, Gamescom, it was not... There were probably people online saying it was bad. I don't think it was bad. It just did not necessarily have the things to hook me, slam my desk, DiCaprio point, and say, day one buy. Which, honestly, I'm okay with. I don't need to be getting overly hype about things. God, I just, like, honestly, I totally forgot that fucking Metal Gear Solid Delta is dropping, and I haven't, like, pre-ordered it at all, because guess what? I'm trying to chew through my backlog. I still have promised Axe to play fucking Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I haven't got there yet. I'm like, God damn it! I need to go back. I need to finish beating Alteria Yumina first. And
yeah, I did not grab Delta because of the extra money involved with buying all the GSSRs and then spending $80 dues on summer packs at the start of this month.
No, so
it's not. It's maybe later, but not right now.
No, I will get it though. By all accounts, people saying it. I think it was the GameSpot review that said it was a very safe remake, but in all the best ways.
That seems solid. That seems like what you want. They're not going crazy to like rewrite the past. They're just kind of like reinvigorating the franchise.
I think the favorite thing in that review I wrote though was in the bag is they re-recorded Snake Eater for the new one, and that upsets him. He didn't say it was like a bad remake or something. He just said he liked the original, but he just put it in the bottom. I was like, no, I feel that.
That's fair. I will say there's also, because there is a lot of press going on for Metal Gear Delta, there was some funny interview stuff going on, because like I've mentioned before, but one thing about like the Metal Gear relationship in English anyway that was a little strange and fraught was that like clearly Hideo Kojima wasn't as hype on David Hayter as the fandom was, but also like David Hayter is Snake, so Konami is like, hell yeah, David Hayter. Honestly, Konami was so crazy that they actually unveiled who Eva's fucking voice actress was. That had been a secret for like 20 years. She used a stage name.
Yeah.
So like they're going ham on this. But like in a recent interview, somebody asked David Hayter about it, and he said, "Yeah, it's been some years. I originally didn't do it because it was very awkward, but I did go back and play Metal Gear Solid 5."
Oh no, I read that. He said it's actually his favorite one now.
I mean, gameplay wise, it's really good, and like the story is interesting. I still like.
We've had this conversation, Omega. Let's not get into it again.
No, let's not go through it. There's a whole theories I think about, like, you know, how expensive Keith or Sutherland was, and like did he do a lot with the role? But yeah, we can talk to death about it. Let's scratch O&L off that list.
Yeah.
Honestly, we didn't need to talk about it too much, but you did mention it on the Monday stream, and you said we should mention it again on the podcast, so I remember to put it in my notes. We talked a lot about going back and watching old movies, like doing some Discord streams and finding some stuff. Probably not immediately, but
no, I definitely think we are going to start. Like, I am definitely on board with this idea of starting, Studio Omega watch parties and working through like old classic films. And I'm not talking like 90s. I'm like pull shit from like the 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to modern stuff. There's a lot of movies out there, and I would love just to slowly make my way down a list and just expand my knowledge. I definitely got thinking about this because Hideo Kojima, who is an auteur of the gaming industry, definitely watches a lot of movies and pulls like a lot of inspirations and stuff from them. And me, I do not create media. as much as I would like. I would definitely like to get back to it, but I just feel like one of those things of like, I should broaden my horizons. And if we start like watching a bunch of old classic films, old anime films, old animated films, and we slowly start making to like modern films, like I wouldn't mind doing like a Marvel watch party with everybody. That's just gonna take a while. And plus, there are always movies coming out that I want to see. I just never go because I have to go to the fucking theater, and because I don't.
And pay $20 for a ticket and $50 for a popcorn bucket where you eat out of Annabelle the Haunted Doll's ass. True.
Hey, I don't get fucking popcorn because that shit. I'm not a pop. I like popcorn, but I don't like popcorn enough to buy it at a fucking movie theater. Lucky usually gets nachos and a drink. That's lucky. That's lucky. Two, like, yes, I understand a lot of movies come out on streaming services, but when I watch a movie, I want the theater experience. I want to sit in that chair. Especially like when a lot of modern theaters nowadays, they have like super comfy like lean back chairs and shit like that. And just see it like in the big screen with the big audio and just be like, wow! I want to see previews for movies and stuff. Like it's an experience for me that is near and dear to my heart, even if it is a bit more expensive.
Oh, it is a full experience, but it's also one of those experiences that is like in its own way kind of trying. Like ticket prices are up. Previews and straight up commercials now before movies, unfortunately, are like really long. So it's
that reminds me. I gotta double check times for the Demon Slayer movie and the Chainsaw Man movie because those are coming to theaters over here, and I would like to see those.
It's a pretty solid pick. I got another small one just to let people know. A lot of people were hoping for it. It was like one of their most requested polls. But soon, just like next week, Helldivers 2 is coming out on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yet another like sign that the console war is fucking over.
It better be.
We hope it. I mean, this is an aside, but this is my own personal joke about when I will say the console war is over. When Phil Spencer lets Starfield come to PlayStation, that's when we know we will have truly built bridges. But it seems like Xbox and Sony are more willing to play back and forth these days. Hellblade 2 came out on PlayStation, I think, like earlier this month, or like last month. Yeah. Indiana Jones is on PlayStation now, so like they're broadening their horizons. And we talked about this before, but Square Enix is going absolutely apeshit on their multi-platform strategy. They just announced they're putting triangle strategy on both consoles.
Huh.
It was Nintendo originally, and then was a Steam release, but now they're just like, fuck it, who cares?
Well, like I said, they need to spread out. They need the
It's true.
Triangle strategy, while I heard that it was fairly well reviewed, did not sell well. Despite people screaming that they want their
tactics RPG on the Nintendo Switch.
That's why I keep, like I said, it's one of those people I get mad about, like, turn-based games are dead. It's like, no, you just don't buy the ones that come out. I've beaten this dead horse, and I will continue to do it. Gamers, like, lie out their fucking ass.
Yes, the consumer is always wrong, as they say. And obviously they've been talking about this, but, like, 16 is on Steam and Xbox now. I think they might be looking at porting it to Switch 2, because the Switch 2 has some juice. They're gonna do remake for sure, and I think they've announced for sure Rebirth is coming to Switch 2.
Yeah.
No word on Rebirth for Xbox, but Intergrade is coming to Xbox as well later this year, I think. Like, they're just... Square's just kind of spread-shotting stuff, which they do need a little, because they did do, like, a yearly report, and their MMO division, which is traditionally their moneymaker, has shrunk a decent amount. Some people are trying to blame this that it's all Dawntrail's fault, but technically I think the years that was, like, from June to June, so it was technically from, like, the month before Dawntrail even hit. It just kind of seems like a decent number of people went, all right, I've beaten Endwalker. I'm done now. It's the end. And it's like, yeah, they're not wrong, but there's more.
I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if Dawntrail just made people go blah, because people are...
I think
people are entitled to their opinions, but opinions can be wrong.
I think I want to say, I don't think it's exclusively Dawntrail's fault, like Dawntrail didn't ruin Final Fantasy XIV. I would not be shocked if Dawntrail failed to loop in new and returning players as much as they were maybe hoping, because Endwalker is a big climax, and like Dawntrail is the setup phase for something new. We'll see where people are at, next in the Xbox cycle, or even a few more down in the patch cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox. And they did announce that they are doing their ODST crossover. Busted out the saxophone and everything. They're doing this in the form of a Legend Warbond, which is honestly what they really should have done for the Killzone thing. But, they're... I shouldn't get mad at Arrowhead for trying. They're like a studio that's got like less than 100 guys, and they mostly learn by doing. So they try, and when it doesn't work, they change. So this is going to be a slightly extra spicy Warbond. It is a Legend Warbond, so your Warbond credits from the Premium Edition don't count because it's going to cost 1,500. But it does come with a ODST themed armor set and cape, 4 weapons, SMG, assault rifle, shotgun, pistol. So 3 primaries and a secondary. A bunch of like ODST themed skins for vehicles and stuff like that. So gonna be a pretty decent pull. I did bust my chops a little earlier in the week to make sure I had enough cashola in the pocket. Because it is honestly not that hard to grind out super credits. You just gotta set aside some time. You can get like 100 or 200 in a couple hours if you're willing to spend a little bit of time doing it. Yes, also Ark is correct in the chat. A bunch of people have made hating 14 their entire personality now. That's crazy to me. I could not imagine that level of professional haterdom. That's literally Lex Luthor behavior. You're literally being a supervillain. Find something better to do with your time. Touch grass, hug a squirrel. That's your type.
Please don't hug a squirrel. That will actually probably be bad.
No, actually no. The squirrels are ornery. Don't do that. They're living their life. But yeah, so we actually have some PS Plus games to talk about. First, well, maybe first, because we'll probably yap about Abiotic Factor for a while, but I've also played Sword of the Sea.
Woo!
And actually, technically, I have beaten Sword of the Sea. I rolled credits.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a pretty compact video game. My clear time, I think I said before I got credits to roll, was around 4 hours. There's a trophy to do the whole thing in 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
It does have a New Game Plus, so like I think it is intended, like a lot of this group's other games, to be kind of like semi-repeatable. You know, you do it for the story, and then you do it again to kind of like find all your collectibles. You can do it again for a speed run, get a score run, because the game actually does keep track of your score the whole time. Fucking Tony Hawk style, like you get points for like tricks and stuff. You can't actually check your score mid-game until a New Game Plus. Well, you can check it in the pause menu, but it doesn't like track it for you actively. But you get a little score tracker when you do New Game Plus, which is actively running your trick score all the time. But yeah, it's a pretty tight little game. Everybody take a drink, because I gotta say, this is definitely meant to be a sequel to this game studio's other games, Abzu and The Pathless. Definitely has some like strong recurring motifs and vibes. It is technically doing something new, but it's also like very clearly related. And I know it's related because I said take a drink because about a month ago, OSP, Obvious Sarcastic Productions, put out a detailed diatribe where Blue raved about how cool the architecture and music and themes of Giant Squid's games are.
Mm-hmm.
And because I watched that, I was very easily able to see when certain recurring motifs showed up in Sword of the Sea, and I was like, oh, that's that thing. I do want to play Abzu and Pathless, but they're the backlog chat, and the money.
The money, the backlog, the money, the backlog.
Pathless especially seems very interesting, because that one's actually like a little bit of an open world action-y game. But Sword of the Sea is a much, I feel like, tighter experience. They are kind of like bringing their vibes together, and obviously some of the art team and stuff worked on Journey as well, so that kind of gives you the desert theme. But yeah, you surf the sands and the seas on a Sword of the Sea, which is also sand. You can do cool tricks, you can dash, you can jump. There's not really fighting, mostly just you explore and platform and do cool tricks. It's a very video game-ass video game.
Video game as video game.
And I'd say it's pretty positive. I don't know what the MSRP is like, but it's free on PS Plus if you have the extra tier. Give it a crack. It's not super long, and it's got some interesting stuff going on. Very strong vibes. Like, the player character you're literally just a statue, and then a drop of water falls in your head, and then you're like, I live. I have sword. I must surf. Why are you doing that? Where are you? What's going on? I don't fucking know, man. Explore. Figure it out. And yeah, I've had a good time with it, and I'm going back to maybe crack some extra trophies and see if I can find some more stuff, because I don't have the trophy for reading all the lore. The lore. And there's some exploration areas I clearly missed. I literally realized, like, I rolled credits in the New Game Plus, and I was immediately like, oh shit, I didn't see everything in like the first area. There was like a little time trial thing I completely missed because I was new to the game. But yeah, it's a pretty good experience. And it's very strongly hitting on the themes their previous games have hit on. There's a lot going on with like cycles, nature, the living, the dead, gods, etc., the sacred. It's a good time. It looks great. So then, our other, big new game on the PS Plus, this one was the base level game for the month, I believe.
Yes.
Abiotic Factor.
Yeah, no. So, do you ever want to be a fucking Black Mesa scientist? Here you fucking go.
What if Minecraft was Half-Life 2?
Well,
It's not
really
actually Minecraft.
There's
It's more of...
yeah, about to say.
what would I compare it to? Probably 7 Days to Die?
See, the thing is, you really can't fuck with, like, the terrain. You can break down, like, some furniture, but you can't, like, dig holes or anything, so...
Yeah, there's no, like... You're all indoors, so there's no, like, terrain deformation.
No, I'm trying to think of something, like, in that similar kind of mindset, but I can't think of it off the top
But
of my head.
it is kind of a survival circumstance where, like, you do have to do a lot of DIY stuff.
Yes.
Oh,
basically, you are sent to a super secret scientific research facility in Australia.
It's very down under.
Yeah, apparently everything's coming up Australia recently. But and you get down there, you get through a half-assed orientation. I love how the orientation was completely half-assed. It felt so real to me.
Yeah.
And you get sent down to your workspace, and everything goes wrong, and you are spit out, and you have to start figuring shit out, and it's kind of fun. So like I said, survival crafter. So you have needs. You have to manage your food. You have to thirst. You have to monitor your bathroom. Your I can't think of the proper term for it. All of a sudden, you have to relieve yourself, take shits. But I feel like there was you have to take care of your waste, and you have to sleep. Also, you can get dirty if you get stuff, and that makes shit bad too. And you have like health and like damage and lid. So it's actually like there's a lot of very robust systems in here, even though it looks super fucking jank, which is part of the fucking charm. It kind of looks like the game looks like you're in like a 2000s ass game, just with like smoother polygons. Everyone's kind of weird, bubbly. The clothes don't quite fit right. If your character talks, it's just like, it's just like a fucking, a steel hatch opening and closing.
Lip flap textures, yeah.
Yeah, no. So it has a very, 2000 science vibe, and there's a lot of weird science in it. But, it's very survival crafter. There's a nice little progression system in there. There's a lot of recipes to learn. And, this is something I do like. You actually have, if you want to like use like crafting stations, you actually have to power them up by plugging them into, wall sockets. And at least on the settings that we have it on base, the base turns off at night, so you can't always be crafting, your fucking ABCs and your survivals. But it's fun, and like I said, we've last night it was me, Omega, Axe, and Loth, and there's actually a story happening somewhere. There's shit happening. We're like trying to figure out what happened in here. We went to the portal dimension to go get fucking weed, and we got fucking slapped by a fucking a psychic man.
Teleports.
But I came out there with weed, and that was like super important to me. Also, finally found the fucking anvil so we can salvage and repair. Oh my god!
Screwdrivers, chat. We had so many screwdrivers just piling up.
Like, I'm sorry.
It's an important piece of equipment, but God, there's so many of them.
Lucky is one of those people, I just can't leave things on the floor. I have to put them in a place or destroy them. Otherwise, it fucking gets to me.
Well, they do. If you just leave them on the floor, they clutter up, Like, they're there.
Well, no, I know some people who are just completely fine with throwing shit on the floor and leaving it.
I mean, I threw out some, like, broken chair legs we had, but I, like, went into a corner to be like, we do not need to store these in the storage crates. We are so cracked right now.
Yeah. But, like, there's cooking, there's farming, there's first aid, there's fishing, which is slightly hilarious. You can just throw your fishing rod into bodies of water and get weird-ass shit. And it has a skill progression. I've only gotten a couple of bio samples, but maybe I should try that more. And there's, like, weapons and weapons. I'm pretty sure there's guns because I was looking at inside a security window, and it looked like there was, like, 9 boxes of 9mm on the fucking desk. I was just like, huh.
Yeah, I know. We have 9mm bullets, so there's definitely guns, but we're not there yet, obviously.
Yeah, we're not there yet. And, like, honestly,
it has I don't know if it's really classic, but it has that kind of, like, I think very, very common survival game kind of curve where it's like, yes, you'll find how to get to this area where you'll find this resource you need to do blah, blah, blah. Like, Subnautica did that.
So there is like progression in like resources and stuff, and I think it flows pretty good.
Skill bars. There's a skill system. You level up your skills, and you got like.
Well, actually, there's also like a class system too. Like this is something I like that when you like make a new character, you actually pick a starting class, which sometimes gives you certain perks, a few points, and maybe a special ability or two, and you can set that to help set your starting path. Like Lucky likes growing things. I always like growing things. If you give me the chance to start a fucking farm, I will every single fucking time. So I picked the phytogenome botanist, and I got like agriculture. Then I picked skill points to get even more experience when farming. I also picked up the one to give me more when cooking, but that was before like Loft joined us, and Loft says, "Hey, I'm gonna be the cook," and I was all like, "Well, shit, I probably should have planned that better." But
we might double up on some stuff.
Yeah, it's probably good to double up on stuff.
Like I ended up taking the extra first aid points because we didn't have a medic, but I think we've just been healing ourselves,
Also, the fucking Doxa healer is amazing, and I love it a bit.
It's true. I was originally going to go defense consultant, but that had like penalties to like learning skills slower and not being able to get shared recipes.
Oh yeah, no, that's
and so I was like, nah, I'm para-theoretical physicist, which makes me good at science and also throwing things.
Throwing things is good. You have fucking pinned some things to the fucking floor.
Yeah, I have a decent accuracy and pretty good rate of fire of just throwing knives, which are just pens with straight razors stuck at the end of them.
No, like I said, there's this very weird.
It's different than like FBC Firebreak, but it is still very like Office core, but it's very clearly like Half-Life 2 core,
It's research core. Like we're building fucking like armor out of fucking filing cabinets, magazines, and duct tape. We have a club made from pipes, but also we can like make healing injectors and vacuums out of like fucking monster parts. So it's
and like crossbreed regular tomatoes with portal dimension wheat to make super tomatoes for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's just like there's this weird science vibe paired with this fucking like this junk aesthetic, which is very funny. Like as we progress more in the game, we'll probably get better looking stuff, probably. But like for right now, we're like I have no idea how far we are in the game. Like we might have not barely like scratched the fucking the top for all we know.
About 4 hours. I mean, it took us a while to figure out level 3, but we got there. We're still working on stuff. Technically, we haven't finished that, by the way. We still haven't gotten the power cell from the thing. There's like trams and stuff. Yeah, that's probably a good ledger. Axe just said that the PS5 says we're about 40% through the office sector.
Yeah,
because there are like trams and stuff for different sections. So that's like progress towards the trophy, I would say. So not a huge guarantee, but yeah, that. I mean, at the very least, we haven't gotten all the way to floor 3. Is there a 4th floor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I bet floor 3 is it, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to do something at the end of here and then move on to like another sector.
Big Silo 3.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what the trams are for. I'm pretty sure the trams are gonna move us between sectors.
Yeah, and I also don't know if we fully explored. No, actually, it's manufacturing. Yeah, I think we've gone to the other end of that. But we did not fully explore the portal dimension. Like you and I were there and just happened to go the right way. Like I don't know if that was the only way to go or not, but it's just we were like, oh, we can go this way. Holy shit, there's a guy shooting lightning at us with his mind.
Well, we do need more Exar hearts so we can get Loth the upgrade, so we can just teleport things to his kitchen. Also, I probably might, go slap Loth unconscious and go reorganize his kitchen because he is horrible at it.
Loth is absolutely the kind of just like, fuck it, we ball kind of guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Abiotic Factor, it's really cool.
That's very cool. Like I said, once we
robots for CPUs.
Yeah, no, once we get done with the show, I am going to probably go immediately move into playing Abiotic Factor and see who joins me. Like I said, we have a nice...
yeah, I'll be down. Yeah, the show's not super long.
Oh no, Axe, you can be the builder. You can just have to build things like traps and barricades and walls and stuff. I only get involved for like the production facilities and amenities. I have not built a trap. I have not built a barricade. I have not built a wall. I just make sure that we are able to do the functioning things that we need to keep functioning.
And honestly, some of that was also just we were just trying to fucking centralize our stuff, because until we got that one upgrade, it was just like, who has what now? Do you have this? Do you have that? Which storage bin do we put that in? We need 6 storage bins, chat. Well, I don't know if we don't need 6 yet.
They're small ones. They're small ones. Small
3
ones.
was too few.
We'll unlock it. Go. But yes, no, that is Axe was talking in chat about how he went to go as the builder, but I do that anyway, which is half true. Like I said, Lucky plays a lot of these survival crafter games, so I usually have a mindset of what I want to do, and I will just do it.
Also, I usually defer on this because I feel like you are the person I know in the squad who is most bothered if something is out of place.
Oh, I very much so.
I'm bothered a little bit. I think Loth is probably mostly unbothered. Axe is also probably somewhere in the middle.
Have you seen Loth's power out setup in the kitchen?
Yeah, I've seen the plug thing. I think at one point I almost made a Ruby's Rafter joke. I was like, what happened to this man? He's been gooped. And I was like, oh, it's a power cable. That's the fridge that looks like somebody's textures got smeared. But the main thing is, like, you ended up assembling all the beds because we had one couch to sleep on, and then we're like, oh, let's just make some beds. Then it was like, oh shit, we all need beds because they're all tied to our respawns.
Yes.
The crates thing was just kind of like there. And you got a little feisty with Loth. You gotta call him out.
Also, Axe, don't phrase it like that. That's very rude to both me and Loth.
I don't think he would immediately concede. I do think that.
Well, unless you're trying to be rude, and in that case, fuck you, Axe.
Oh, hey, there's that spider. Hold on. He went out of the bookcase. That fucker's been there since last night, but he hid behind the TV stand in the middle of the night.
Hang on, I have to explain something to Axe. Axe, the way you have phrased that, I don't want to complain at Loth because you're not me, and he won't immediately concede. So, A, you're talking about Loth if I tell him to do something, he immediately concedes, which is rude to Loth. And then B, you're talking about me complaining to Loth, which is rude to me. So, if you're not trying to be rude, well, you're being rude. And if you are trying to be rude, then fuck you.
Alright, if he comes back out, I've got the flip-flop ready. We'll get his ass.
Get him.
I probably shouldn't be too bothered about the spider, because I think based on it mostly has just gone across the floor, it hasn't actually got up on the wall. I don't think it can get up the metal legs of the bed, but, brother, you're too big to be wandering around my room at night. I have accidentally nearly stepped on spiders before with my bare-ass bedroom feet, so we'll nip that one in the bud. Anyway, Abiotic Factor is super cool.
It's super cool. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, check it out. It's a little unoptimized for console, which is funny because it's a PS Plus game, but it's not, like, atrocious, you know?
No, it's definitely a game that if I had seen, I definitely... Honestly, I might still pick it up on freaking, on PC at some point if it goes on sale.
Yeah, maybe keep an eye out. Now, see, a spider, I feel like this video is staged, but if there was
totally
actually like a tarantula on the fucking ceiling, we would not be doing the glass bowl from like the ceiling where where he has the high ground. We don't do that shit. I would get a broom, bring him down to my level.
But no, definitely gonna be doing more Abiotic Factor over here.
Yeah, we'll do it literally after this.
You know, don't mess with the science theme. We should totally do more Dr. Coomer quotes.
I mean, that is literally like the male voice. I feel like my blood sugar levels are low.
Look, Gordon, a rope. Help me, Gordon.
We did do the joke with the coworkers, like, Gordon, it's me, Barney from Black Mesa. About that beer I owe you.
That beer I owe you. Oh, God, no. But,
yeah, we'll jump into that right away. I guess then the only thing is how much we do want to talk about Rain. If we're not anything more to say about Abiotic Factor.
Well, Rain is going definitely a little bit insane. Last episode, you just posted it today, I believe?
Yes.
Yes. So we get to seeing our first, like, real combat in a while, and unfortunately there is some growing pains. For a few reasons. One, our first problem was, and our first, our second combat went smoothly, went super fucking fine. We were good. Our first combat did not go good. Also, there was a little bit of confusion with the map, but that was on my end, because Lucky is sometimes bad at looking at things.
It happens, and I probably should have just bit the bullet and imported into whiteboard on Discord so we could doodle on it anyway, but it's fine. You pinned it so we can check back and stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually I was just like, you guys are over 50%. Here, let's post the one with labels so we can share language.
Speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we got in there. There was a little bit of discussion, picking our entrance and stuff. Honestly, Omega, I know, like, options are cool. Sometimes we don't need options. Just say there's one entrance. Go. Because I'm pretty sure we spent, like, 15 minutes just trying to figure out which way we're going to go in. People talking over each other. Some people not being heard. Some people repeating themselves. Like, it was just one of those things. And I think even at one point someone forgot which entrance we come in, and we were trying to figure it out on the map. But there was that. Found the combat pretty quickly. The combat, I don't think was necessarily bad, but it was drawn out because we brought a fair amount of dudes. Like, it's the NPCs, Everhelm, Moira, Aurelia, and like six dudes. Some of those areas in that map are super fucking tight, and we can't fit all these people in there. So there was quite a bit of just people just kind of sitting there twiddling their thumbs, which On one point, it was fine because I think you mentioned that at one point, if we had tried to jam everyone in there, you were going to be like, all right, how are you fitting in everyone?
Yeah, I mentioned that I would probably be like, if you all literally tried to fit through the doorway and gang pile one guy, I would have been like, okay, guys, hold on. This is a cave. It's not that big. How are you fitting 7 people in there?
Later, you did mention that we could have also tried baiting them out, which probably would have been a lot smarter, but here's the thing I've noticed about PCs. PCs don't like going backwards. PCs only like going forwards.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, but like the honestly, like, hunter-pilled thing to do probably would have been, to just be like, oh, there's guys in there? Let's try and bait them out.
Yeah. But, so, the first combat went a little longer than it probably had to. People were figuring out mechanics, remembering their stuff.
I will say some of that was also funny, because at some point, I think it was like on round, like 3 or 4, Dallas just went like, wait, fuck it, I have a bow. Is anybody blocking the tunnel? No? Okay.
No, Enos was also because we started the combat with Enos and Dallas trying to stick out because we're not supposed to be like mainline fighters. We have our good combat niche uses, but we're not supposed to wade in there.
Yeah,
necessarily. So we tried to hung back, and I think that might have hurt the action economy a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. Dallas probably could have been taking shots a bit earlier, but Enos doesn't have I don't have spells that are long range, and I do not carry a range.
You have a reach weapon, not a ranged weapon, if that makes any sense to people following along at home.
Yes.
And you guys all did the smart move and were like, let's not take our guns into this cave, which is not only damp, but also a cave.
Echoes very loudly. But, like I said, it was a good starting one. I'm glad that we did it. We only had to fight like a couple dudes. But,
it was like 3 guys. There was a little bit of confusion with the naming, because normally I go like ABC, but I just decided to go, I did it in like reverse order. I was like, well, clearly this one's little Timmy, and then that one's little Jimmy, and then I'm like, fuck it, the other one's Bimmy.
I'm surprised you said Bimmy and not Benny. That's what I thought you kept saying, but no, but combat went. No one Conrad got hit in the head again. Loth got stabbed in the shoulder, I believe, again.
Yeah, Loth took a couple of the chest. Conrad did eventually take one to the head. Nikola didn't get hurt though, because he actually stayed back.
Yep. Same with Enos, but which is fine. I'm not wearing a lot. I'm not
Yeah, they had 1 AP. Now these guys are supposed to be like, as we discovered from the first fight, you guys fought a small group of them in an enclosed space. They're risky. You don't really want to go like 1v1 if you can help it. But they're not so much that if you get like a couple extra hitters, like the moment you were doing like 2-to-1 fighting, these guys started to go down. They got to whittle.
Yeah, but that fight went on a bit longer than I think it really should have. But there's really no one to blame in that situation. It was a weird situation. We were rusty on combat, and
combat always takes extra time because there's like waffling and deciding, and then there's like there's always the dramatic like, oh, I've been struck. What do I do? The same thing you do every time, man. Deep breaths. Hit him back. Block, maybe. And eventually, at one point, we do the thing of like...
The only point of health that matters is the last one.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's always the fun thing where, like, partway through, Conrad was just like, all right, I'm tired of this guy. Deletes him.
Deletes.
Yeah, Aaron even said in the Patreon chat he wasn't taking it seriously until he got hit in the head. And then he was like, okay, die now. Goodbye. That kind of shit. Like, and it's like, yeah, no, that's how it is. And, like, partway through, like, technically Loth was, like, softballing because he wasn't doing his, like, Berserker mode. You know, getting his extra die because he's already pretty good at polearm. But then he was like, wait, so I can use that for bonuses? And we're like, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, again, like, there's a lot to the combat chapter that, like you can do to make things happen, and people necessarily don't fully embrace, I think. Like, I think I had to explain how the call shot could work, how he could basically, as long as he had over, like, 10 dice, which he did, because that's why he wasn't using the Reckless Abandon.
Yeah.
He can basically call shot and, you know, get the hit every time.
So he can just, get it no matter what.
And then once he figured that out, he was like, oh, shit, and just started doing that and became super more effective.
Yeah, like, I think, like, in the second fight when he did it again, Loth was a little concerned that it was kind of, like, boring, but I'm like, no, it's effective. You gotta do what you gotta do.
No. In the second fight, there was a lot more dudes.
There were
between these fights where Lucky got a little confused because, like I said, you gave us the map, and I thought we were in one chamber when we were not.
Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, I randomly generated the map. That was probably a little my fault with the description. Like, there was that side surface passage that you came in, which wasn't a room. You know. So, there that was a little confusing on my part. Yeah, it's just the thing of like talking earlier, like the options. Like, yeah, you probably didn't need options, but it is technically supposed to be like a bigger cave network. I wanted a sense of like larger multiple caves.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's supposed to be a little bit of like utilitarian use, so having both sea and like beach access is good. I could have like blocked one up,
Mm-hmm.
to make it simpler. You guys would have done it even if it was partially flooded. They just would have been complaining because, like, I was pretty sure you guys weren't going through the water side. You'll go back later to like check it, but I wanted there to be an underground water grotto, underground harbor. There's the word I'm looking for. Like, I wanted that aesthetic, but I also knew you wouldn't want to get your feet wet.
Nah, that makes your boots all squidgy.
From now on, it'll be a lot more straightforward. And you guys got some lore building. You got some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, no, we got some stuff going on. I'm excited. We found the trash heap. We found some golden sea silk, some pottery, some stone tablets. I'm gonna take that home, study it, be like, hopefully get a name. But we did a second combat. That one went much more smoothly. Like I said, since that area was way wider, both Dallas and me were able to wade in there.
Dallas also got to do some fun. Dallas got to actually show off his bear wrestling side a little.
Yeah, no, it was effective. Enos did good work with the chains. I had to remember the rules on multiple actions, and Enos was pulling off 3 hits a turn. I had the dice pool for it though, so that was
you guys are pretty solid to do dice pools to.
Well, this was because it was specifically fighting on unworthies. I could take out 3 in one, but that's kind of how you have to deal with unworthies. If you're taking them out one at a time, you're not really going. You gotta.
Yeah, that's your playing to their advantage.
Yeah.
That's literally their advantage is they have a lot of bodies they can surround you. You wanna whittle more than one guy, split them, do area attacks.
Yeah.
You are also not doing
like
area
you said,
attacks.
I didn't
Dallas
want
is not throwing grenades indoors either.
No, I don't want to be deafened. So, I did like that we found the Heart of Darkness, almost literally. The egg chamber with the strong umbral fucking thing pulled out the Astrolab. Is Dallas here? I swear to God, if Dallas, hurts himself just so he can cast fucking Azoth on, I'm going to tie him down and learn Sever the Soul on him so he can never do it again.
You blast his ass.
I'm gonna blast his ass.
He really wants to do sign. I mean, he only takes shock damage, I think, for Azoth.
I know. Also wanted to take eggs. I'm all like, no.
Well, that was the thing of like Dallas talked about it, and he was like, "No, you're probably right. We don't need to go that far." Like he wanted to because it was very clearly exotic. He wanted to study it, but
yeah, no. Like again, Dallas. Point to Dallas. If you can explain something to him, he'll be like, "Oh, okay, I get it." But you have to, stop him from doing his harebrained idea and then explain it to him. You're like, shit.
And to be fair, Dallas wasn't like incorrect that like his idea to take a sample and then research it, like that would have netted results. It was just kind of like out of character. Where like Dallas, we can Occam's razor this. We can run this through a little simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's there. So that's interesting, and I'm actually curious what like may come of that. Maybe. Well, I don't want to like fully spoil what's happening in there, but things are interesting, and it gives me concern for the future and what may be happening in other areas. But we still got half the sea caves to go. We do know there is a big ass fight coming up soon, so we gotta
yes, you guys not only using your ears but correctly deploying your spells to actually be like, how many fucking guys are there? A lot of guys.
Yeah, no. I am very.
I like
glad
how
that
you even even Leslock started this by just going like, hold on, let me cast something wicked, and so I'm on my map counting out like where's 500ish feet, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a lot. That's fine. You're getting a lot of stuff. There's a lot of bad in there.
A lot of bad. But I do appreciate that. I was like, I need an echolocation spell, and you whip that up real quick. I bought that immediately.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like a Soulcraft is people, places, things. So it's like, okay, what's a place? A cave.
Yeah.
Also, Soulcraft comes from an underground society, so it's like, yeah, okay, we'll give them a map spell. They can ping rooms and feel stuff out.
He also made the magic map for Veilcraft, which I also thought was neat, but that's in Veilcraft. But like I said, we are finding a little bit of treasure. We are finding I don't know if I'm going to call these plot tokens, but because like I said, I picked up the sea silk because it's shiny. I might be able to sell it for a pretty penny.
You're gathering the accoutrements of interest. If nothing else, you guys have kind of talked about it before, but there has always been the idea, I think, of like talking about like the technology fair and displays and stuff. Is like I'm really expecting any one of these days is the Marquis is going to open a museum.
That would
like,
actually be pretty cool. We should probably put that down. We should. Well, actually, we could put a museum in our eventual college. That'd be rad. We'll put that on our college campus.
Yeah, you can, because I think we've discussed it in passing before, but like that would be very, very, very Victorian and like a little bit pre of like fucking, as much as he was good at other things, Napoleon was also really good at his PR department, which included like every time he went somewhere, he dragged scientists and scholars with him. So like absolutely, totally would be in field
man,
to
we
just
can
be like, let's
excavate.
scoop all this stuff.
We can put some monstrum on display, get some dragon skeletons, get ore samples. Put those on display, talk about them. That should be rad. Show relics of, the ancient tribes. That'd be pretty cool.
You do have a couple of archaeology ideas to mill, too.
Well, yeah, no. Like, that is one of those things. Like, I am very excited. I am very eager to get back because I need to talk to Lord Wayland, and we got letters waiting for us.
And move into our next phase of planning things.
Moving into our next phase. Which is, I will say, I'll use that to segue into our next point. Actually, a lot easier now. Aaron brought this up at the end of the last session. I don't know if it's on the recording or not. But talking about how we need some sort of scheduler to basically keep better track of our events and maybe write notes on them and stuff. And we all thought that was a pretty damn good idea. So Omega that night basically whipped out a quick document that basically highlights each month, its name, and the year. And just basically put it on a bunch of headings and just said, here, guys, go nuts. And I will tell you what, Lucky went nuts. That document was like a page and a half when he gave it to us. It is now almost 6 pages. And I'm gonna toot my fucking horn, pat myself on the back. That was mostly me. I wrote a fucking lot.
Yeah, you jumped in there big.
Like I said, I did probably steal some other people's thunders by writing down some of their plot points. But like I said, it's a document that anyone can edit, so people can change things up. Axe did get in there and write a few things, and instead of trying to rewrite them, because then I added comments to them, and Axe rewrote them himself. So I think that's like a good system if we want to remark on other people's things, maybe in an out of character context and whatnot. And we did get talking about festivals and stuff. Oh shit, that reminds me, I need to ask Axe if he wants to do something for the Bonfire Festival. I asked the other day, but I don't think Axe saw it, so I'll ask again. Ooh, excuse me.
Yeah, I was just kind of in one of our blocks of text while he was at work.
It was. But like I said, we started talking about festivals, when the tax season is, what happens at said tax seasons, filling in more stuff, plotting our trips and stuff. And it does, once you actually have it all written down, you can definitely get a sense of, all right, we got a very loaded, summer coming up, or what's happening in summer 3, what's happening in the fall. Some of the things are placeholders, in winter, we're planning, our big sea journey, maybe try to hit the Cauldron, maybe, and hit Celtic and maybe Lagartia. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I put it in there just because I want it to happen. Plans change. I'll keep that in mind, Axe. It's things going into the next year, I literally have it here, Narissa and Lesloc's wedding placeholder. I put on a note, nothing has been planned about this event. Correct. But, I'm writing it down, so when I look at the calendar, be what's coming up? I can see it and be oh yeah,
right. That.
Yes. And like I said, trying encouraging people to put personal notes, personal quests, personal goals in there as well. We don't have to just do overarching things. But for the big expedition stuff, we can put things like objectives, party members, so we remember who's actually going, what our goals are, what our plans are. I did that for the diplomatic mission to the Fog Veil. I put who would be going, what our objective is, what little things may be happening. I had the idea of
write that.
I had the idea of bringing good metal tools knives and axes as gifts, because they probably really need those. And Conrad was saying he should forge us some gifts, and I was not weapons though. We don't want to send that message. And then Aaron was all then how about saw blades and spearheads? I was all shit, that's a great idea. Send it. And so there's I think this calendar is functioning attentively, lets us keep track of what we want to do, who's doing what, and bounce ideas off of other without having to rely on giant Discord conversations and and people's memories. So I like it. I'm gonna probably go stare at it more. Aaron's talking about how he's writing stuff at the moment. I was like, shit, I have to go look at it. That's that. So no, like Rain continues to be exciting. I am super hyped for it. I cannot wait for Sunday. It's gonna be fun. Yes, Ax, you say that. Like, one of the things I have been pestering you to do is to ask Lady Cressida and Lady Maja about their weddings, and despite you spending time with both of them, you have not mentioned it at all. I know Ax keeps forgetting, but that's why I try to keep reminding you. Ax, you get very excited on your goals when we're in game, so it's kind of understandable, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating sometimes.
Well, also, I don't actually know how much the fucking... The break between in and out of character conversations, I think it's something that, like, Enos has brought up in character as an aside, but it wasn't a lot of focus. Technically, I think you still have to roll to either commit an event to memory or to recall it.
Do you? Well, I do know that like Ax has the thing where he doesn't.
But yeah, Ax has the photographic memory. It's like I'm pretty sure that like the different steps of Eyes of the Flame of like there was like reading, remembering, and stuff. Okay, you don't need to roll. Okay, committed to but memory. It is one of those things of like you still have to in character you can choose to recall, but out of character you have to ask to recall. So it's like I can't remember what you forget. This is the thing I occasionally have to tell a couple of the players is stuff like, hey, I can't read your mind.
Mm-hmm.
As much as witness is a little loose. That is a little vague. I would not like nickel and dime for small stuff, but also it is mean that you don't necessarily like recall everything ever. But no, like it may seem the contrary with my many years of GMing skills to like know relatively what players and characters are going to respond with, but I can't actually read minds, so people need to say stuff out loud for me to know things.
No,
then I try to be on that shit.
But no, I am excited to try and get through this because I do think that like thanks to the calendar and probably our insistence on maybe getting to macro time, we'll probably start speeding through time a lot faster. Like we'll get done with the CKs and we'll just start hitting our events, do maybe small scenes, and just keep going. You'll say like the month is ending, we'll look at our company stats and we'll try to spend them best we can before the new month is over. Go on to summer 1, same thing. Like hell, I think like hopefully the diplomatic mission won't be too long either. I'm hoping we can abbreviate travel like we abbreviate travel in places it doesn't matter. Like, do we need to necessarily make rolls through the Shadow Pass again?
No.
So that will be quick. So we can get right into the meat of that.
Will mostly just be in the case of that like character nods and expo dumps.
Yeah. Get back. Summer Court is probably going to be a big thing. We're probably going to be spending several sessions in Summer Court.
I mean, you guys decided to try and not ostentatious, but make it pretty solid. Like block out a pretty solid amount of time.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be happening. But then,
well, no, I mean, sorry, accident in chat commenting like, I want to recall, but I don't want to be annoying to be like, I want to remember this. No, that doesn't matter. That's like what I'm saying is that like, since I can't read your mind, I'm not going to remind you that Lucky told you to ask, the dowagers about their weddings because I don't know that you're still not remembering that you want to do that later, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like there's moments of like if you need to recall something, like you're like, oh yeah, we talked about that. What was it? You have reliving sites, so that can be like, well, you were physically there, so, and then we can try and parse it out. But it's like one of those things of like, I have so much stuff to do, man. I can't keep track of all that stuff for you.
But
it happens.
No, I'm looking.
I remember sometimes I forget things that I don't note down. I brought this up to Lucky later. I realized like Monday or Tuesday, I was like, oh shit, there was a character moment before the dungeon that I was gonna bring up, but because I forgot about it, I couldn't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not go anywhere because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
See if I remember if I can work with it on Sunday.
So,
but yeah,
like I said, we'll get in there. Lucky is probably most excited about getting to winter, getting the trip to Keltacy done, and finding out the Soulcraft secret sorcery because I want it. Like it says, there's cool things TM in it, and I want cool things TM. Because I was definitely talking about this last session. Enos isn't built like a main lane fighter. He does not have he does have parry and dodge. I'm capping that at 3. He's not supposed to be a wizard at it. He's supposed to be an actual goddamn wizard and be casting spells. Shadow Money Wizard Gang style here. But Soulcraft, I think rightly so, as in with most of the Maincraft, doesn't have a lot of offensive things and doesn't have a lot of support, spells either, which was the kind of other thing I was missing. I was looking, I was like, a lot of the enhancement part of Soulcraft is enhancing items, not people. So, but you mentioned that there might be something like that in the Secret Sorcery. I'm like, I want it. Give it to me. Well, don't give it to me, but speed up the time. Let us get there. So very excited about that. Also curious to see what happens with the other secret sorceries, because we may have a line on a couple others, or one other, I should say.
Well, you guys actually did
sh-
manage to just happen to kind of like speed run into pyromancy.
That does remind me. I need to note a trip about visiting the Alchemical College so we can see if they have any ancient records. Also, I need to track down the dragon-turned alchemist, or see if that really was a thing. I haven't forgotten it. It's just deep in my memory banks.
Well, I have the skeleton for this stuff, so like we'll see when we get there. I'm kind of assuming you'll start at the Alchemical College, because I don't think you guys would. Your first plan wouldn't be, let us go into the desert and see if we stumble into the plot.
No, we're probably gonna go visit House Oro, and he's
go to
gonna
Marquette
fucking...
first. You'll go to the Alchemical College because you got to get away from him, and also there will be knowledge there.
Knowledge,
and then this knowledge you can be like, hey, let's go do some desert talking.
We'll probably go visit some Kith tribes and all that stuff. But I probably should note down the things I want to do at the Chemical College. Well, I'll probably say that Nicola is probably going to research pyromancy at the Chemical College. I'm not going to go research pyromancy at the Chemical College, but there is a potential aptitude for researching it there at the Chemical College. I will note that for Dallas, because he will probably want to do that anyway. I am making assumptions here, but...
You have a couple possible forks, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but okay. Show's like 3 hours long, raw anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm done with Rain for now.
Rain, good. All right, that's it. Let's pack it in. Get a couple hours of Abiotic Factor in. Sios. If you're watching this video on YouTube, like it, comment it, subscribe it, check out our Discord. Discord links in the description. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications, even if you're already subbed. Consider joining our channel memberships and consider supporting us on Patreon, like our fine patrons, like Heartblanks, G, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, JDV9000, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Rise of Kenji, Robin, Trevor, and Varen the Crow, and many more. Thank you for your support, patrons. And reminder of stuff as well. I think I've mentioned off and on air, but I will at the end here. Schedule gonna be a little wiggly in the start of the week. Got some time blocked out, and so my brother's coming over. We're gonna do some housework over the front half of next week. So don't know if we'll be up for the normal streaming schedule. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. Obviously, Lucky controls the horizontal and vertical when it comes to I almost said Death Stranding. But also, I know, like you said, that you don't know if you want to fly solo necessarily with Death Stranding, because it's a lot of just walking the wilderness in silence. So
no, especially as we're getting close to the climax. I'm pretty sure. Like, what do we just need the veteran porter list? Yeah, no. Like our next session, we'll probably start our slow walk to the finale. So if you're not there, I probably will not, just on principle.
But yeah, so like I said, and that's okay. We'll figure it out. We're fine. But we'll like I said, we'll have to play it by ear, because I don't know exactly what we'll be doing and how long we'll be doing it, and stuff every day. Not to mention the usual, like I'll have to do manual labor and then feed myself, etc. Find time for all that, and all the other stuff. So like I said, we'll see. That might delay Failed Portrayal. Let's see about 14 as well. Sunday for Rain should be fine. But, stay tuned for all that stuff. We should be back next week for more Let's Talk FGO with a Wanted pregame, and hopefully at the back end of this week I can get started on Wanted and stuff, and we'll see, all the things. And other than that, that's what we got. So we'll see you guys next Tim, but not next Jim and next Bim.